Stand up, New York Giant fans. Sorry I'm late, guys. Benjamin, man, thank you so much for all the love and all the super chats before the live stream. I really do appreciate that. Also, thank you to the trolls so much for the 9 thumbs down, you jerk off. What's going on, guys? Yeah. I don't care. What's going on, Ben? What's going on, Pest? What's going on, Hub, man? Thank you guys so much for being here, man. I'm ready to talk some Giants football tonight. We've got an interesting matchup, a matchup where
that's a very light way of putting it.
A light way of putting it, a matchup in which we're a 13-point underdog. We're coming off a game in which we got thoroughly embarrassed against the San Francisco 49ers, where I think we all expected a more competitive matchup. We're going to talk about all of it tonight. Let me get to some of the people in the chat. What's going on, Jay? What's going on, Manuel? What's going on, Edward Chan? Daniel in the chat, G-Man in the chat, Colin in the chat, Real People in the chat, Jay in the chat, Simon Z, Cash in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. Jake in the chat. What's going on, guys? What's going on, Kovacs? Thank you guys so much for being here. Austin, Maril, Elvis, some of the best supporters on YouTube. X-Man, Rick I. By the way, both of these gentlemen got great Giants YouTube channels. Always love talking to Pest. Always love talking to Hub. And we're going to talk about all of it. I figured we'll start with this week's matchup. And then, obviously, we'll get into the other hot topics with the New York Giants. We'll get into the play calling. We'll answer some of the questions from the people in the chat. But obviously this week we're going up against a really tough opponent, LA Rams. Give me some positivity, guys, going into this game. I'll start with the Hub and then we'll go to Pest. Give me a little bit of positivity.
I can give you just a little smidge of positivity. First things first, though, I want you to get that super chat. I don't know if there was any other super chats that came in before the stream started if you want to get those, but this one just came in.
Yeah, the problem is my chat is so backlogged because it was so late. I will read them out next time when I could go back and read them for Benjamin, but I can't go back. That's the problem.
Simon, you just got one from Simon and then Andrew Thomas, apparently.
Simon says, how was the poop break? It's okay. I won't tell anybody. My laptop is screwed up. I'm getting a new laptop this week. I've had it. I need a new one. I've been having problems with the charging for a while, and for some reason, it wasn't going up to 100%. So that's why I was 25 minutes late. So I apologize, guys. It was not a poop break. If it was, I would tell you. Believe me. And Andrew, man, thank you so much. He says, did you see the article about McShay? Can he will be a high-quality quarterback in the NFL according to Giants Wire? What do you think? All right, before we start with the game, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Daniel Jones, since that's such a hot topic of conversation. Give me your thoughts on Daniel Jones so far this year.
Well, on Daniel Jones, my thoughts are he needs to stop making boneheaded decisions because, in my opinion, all of his picks except for the TJ Watt pick were just decisions that shouldn't be made in your second year. So I'm kind of like, I'm trying to be objective as possible with Daniel Jones. I'm going to give him the criticism where he deserves it, and he does deserve a good amount of criticism this year. Specifically those interceptions and those decisions is also to the fact that it hasn't happened yet, but we know the guy got injured last year, and I don't like the way that he dives when he runs instead of slides. That really bothered me last game. But other than that, a lot of this is on his supporting cast, which he doesn't have much of. His offensive line ain't doing him favors. His receivers ain't doing him favors by not getting open at all. You go back and watch last game against the 49ers secondary where they really shouldn't have struggled. Nobody was getting open, and some of that's on Jason Garrett too, who I've been done with Garrett since week 1. I'm getting more and more done with him as the weeks go on. I want him to prove me wrong, but Garrett doesn't seem to want us to scheme our receivers open, even though they don't seem to have the talent to get open themselves. And then, of course, the receivers be dropping passes every now and again. It's not like he kind of just doesn't have any help. So to me, it's a combination of him having what may be a sophomore slump, which in my opinion would be allowed if he was on any other team. But because he's on the Giants, he's not allowed to have that sophomore slump. In addition, he's just not being helped out by anybody.
Pretty good take there. Pest, what about you? Anything to add to that?
Hey, yo, never mind all that. Yo, Great Wuda. You obviously forgot who I was. You obviously forgot what I do when I get on this channel or my channel or Cush's channel, BBS's channel, Bleed Big Blues channel, plug the Bleed Big Blue, shout out to them. You must have forgot who I am. Or clearly you don't pay attention to me. Because you post a comment where you talk about it's the guy that says the Giants won 4 Super Bowls and it's okay that the Giants lose and lose a lot. You ain't paying attention, my guy. You ain't seeing the anger in my face when I talk about this team. You ain't listening to the pain and the despair in my voice when I record about how much this team sucks. Oh, please don't get it confused that because we've won 4 Super Bowls that I accept mediocrity. All I do is win. I'm a winner in life and in everything else. And this Giants team better start winning. So you better watch your tone, Great Wuda. Because if you don't, I will find you. And I will do things.
I don't think you can actually find him. I don't think you can actually find him.
I can't find you. But in my
mind, listen,
all
I'm going to say is that PTA has a certain set of skills that he's acquired over years, and he will enact those certain set of skills if needed.
Listen, I think we're all sick of the New York Giants losing. I just try to come up with a positive spin and realize that this is a team that's not very good this year. And if you go into the year thinking they're going to make the playoffs, you're just going to set yourself up for disaster. But go ahead, man.
Okay, so Daniel Jones. Listen, I think that Daniel Jones is in a real weird position, right? Because for him, as Kush said, he doesn't have a lot of help around him. Receivers aren't getting open. Offensive line's doing okay in pass block, but not good enough. And DJ's not making good decisions sometimes. I can't sit here and say if DJ's got the stuff or not, because I don't know. But nobody else knows either. So, like, either one or two things is going to happen. DJ's going to be phenomenal, and all of y'all talking about tanking for these quarterbacks in college that we know nothing about at the NFL level are going to look real dumb, or he's going to suck, and we're going to replace him. I mean, there's so much speculation about who's good and who's not good, and you know, you get to a certain point in your career as a football player where we know if you're good or not.
Yeah.
It's too early to say if Daniel Jones sucked. It's too early. We have to wait and we have to see. If he sucks, then he'll be replaced. Because whoever's running this team next year, who I'm personally starting to believe in may be different people, they may not like him. He may be gone. I don't know. I'm not in the business of telling the future, though. I'm in the business of talking about the present. That's the thing. If the New York Giants move on from Gettleman, which at this point it looks more and more likely that they will, and if they do, there's a very high probability if we're picking at the top of the draft that we're going to have a new quarterback. That's just reality. That's something that we have to face. There's a guy in this draft that is supposed to be the next greatest thing since sliced bread, according to most experts with Trevor Lawrence. But the thing I'll say with Daniel Jones, like the Hub said, Daniel Jones has been set up for failure. Period. End of story. Daniel Jones, I'm not eliminating blame. He's made some mistakes. He's looked sloppy so far this year. But Daniel Jones came into a situation that very few quarterbacks are set up for success. And maybe part of it is the fact that maybe the New York Giants overdrafted him. Maybe they shouldn't have taken a quarterback 6th overall. And we could go back and we could debate that all day. Okay, we all know that they needed a quarterback. We know that the fan base wanted them to get a quarterback as soon as possible. But we also know a lot of the experts going into that draft said that it wasn't a quarterback-rich draft. And maybe the New York Giants didn't have the team set up to support Daniel Jones. But Daniel Jones is here, and you have to give him an opportunity. You have to give him to the conclusion of this season. The guy had to inherit a completely new scheme. The second we fired Pat Shurmur, you screwed up Daniel Jones's progression. Period. End of story. You brought him in for Shurmur's offense. He spent a whole year learning that offense. Then you couple the fact that there were no preseason games. You made him learn a completely new offense, and he's got 3 new offensive linemen. I'm not making excuses. That's reality, and you can't come to a final conclusion on Daniel Jones after 3 weeks. Now, if we want to have this discussion after 16 weeks, we can. That's my take on Daniel Jones.
Tayna, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you probably got like about 12 super chats you need to get to.
All right, let me get to that. I get into the Daniel Jones talk. Yeah. Angel Rodriguez, man, thank you so much for the love, man. I appreciate it. He says, "What's up, Chris? Let's not give up hope." Listen, man, to me, just because I say that I think the Giants could win 6 or 7 games this year, if everything breaks right, and they probably looking more at 4 or 5 the way the team looks right now, that doesn't mean I'm giving up hope. It means I'm being realistic. It means I realize that we're a team that's rebuilding. We're a team that's not going to the playoffs this year. We're a team that's not a Super Bowl team, but you have to embrace the rebuild. And you have to realize that this is a young team that you hope gets better over the course of the year. That's just my take. And a lot of fans don't want to deal with that, and I get it. It sucks. We've been losing for a very long time. That's my take on it. And Triple J, man, thank you so much. Says, "Yo, Tana, I'm at work, but stop by to show some love." Triple J, man, thank you so much, man, for being a great supporter of the channel. Really appreciate it. Rob Bro says, "Austin Mack called up. You think he will play well?" Let's talk about that real quick. Austin Mack, a lot of New York Giants fans were talking before the beginning of the year that they wish we drafted a wide receiver in the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th round. It was a rich wide receiver draft class. We go out there, we spend we bring in 4 undrafted free agents after the draft, and now finally they're calling one up. Obviously, we haven't gotten to see a lot about Austin Mack other than, highlight film and maybe some tape on YouTube. But give me your thoughts on Austin Mack. What do you think of him as a receiver? How do you think he fits the offense?
So for me, with Austin Mack, it's exactly like you said. The only thing I know about him, outside of the stats that are available at ESPN.com and outside of a couple of highlights, because I don't have access to college tape like that, the only thing I could say about Austin Mack is that he looks like he's polished in terms of route running. It looks like he's one of those route running type of guys. He reminds me a bit of Sterling Shepard and Golden Tate, who, unless we didn't have a Shepard right now, and unless Golden Tate isn't recovering from injury, I wouldn't want to call him up because I'd be like, we already got a guy like that on the active roster. But the wide receiving core is kind of a little bit banged up that we kind of need to replace. I think that's why he was brought up, actually, is I guess what I'm trying to get to. I think it's because Sterling Shepard is out with turf toe for a couple of weeks that they brought up Austin Mack, who is a very similar receiver, although I will say he has a lot more height than Shepard does, so hopefully that could help us out a bit.
Yeah, I do like that he's got some height. He's almost 6'2", not known to be a burner. He ran a 4.6 240, I believe, at the combine. Seems to be more of a slot guy, but maybe a guy that could get open. He's known to be a good route runner. Pest, what about you, my man?
I mean, I'll take whatever we can get at wide receiver at this point. I'll take whatever we can get. I don't really know. Like Kush said, I kind of feel the same way. He seems like a Golden Tate or Sterling Shepard. We only got one guy that can really take the top off. And I think that if we're, I really don't even know what Jason Garrett wants to do, because I don't even know what the identity of his offense is right now. Like it's a quandary.
Guys, we have like 70 yards rushing from the running back position through 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's a major problem.
Daniel Jones remains the leading rusher of the entire team.
I can't tell you what the identity of this offense is. So, I mean, maybe our focus is getting the ball out of Daniel Jones' hands fast, and so we need, crisp route runners. I don't know. It's so hard for me to even talk about these wide receivers because what are they? It's almost like talking about Daniel Jones. Like, these are guys that we don't really know. We don't know what these guys have. We haven't been able to sit and watch them during the training camp, right? We didn't get a preseason, so we didn't get to see these players go out there against competition. I don't know. I really don't know. It's easy to speculate, but I really
no. I'm with you. We don't
know.
We're hoping. I think he's going to get an opportunity. CJ Board's not very good. It's not Damian Ratley hasn't proven anything. So I like that they called him up. Let's give him an opportunity. Let's see what he's got. I mean, at this point in time, that's what it's about. It's about the future, seeing if these guys could produce.
I also heard that since he was called up, and that means there's a spot open there now, that they're either considering or they already have signed back Alex Bachman, but don't quote me on that.
I believe they did. Yeah, I think I saw that they did. Zeke, man, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. It says, if we are questioning DJ and even Garrett, why are we not questioning Judge? I know it's early, but I hope he's not all fiery talk. I know he is big on culture, but losing is in culture too. Zeke, I'll let you start with that.
Yeah, I was going to say, the reason why I can't speak for everybody, but the reason why I'm not questioning Judge is because the problems I'm seeing is mostly on offense, and the offense is in the hands of Jason Garrett. And Jason Garrett is somebody who's had years of, coaching experience, years being a head coach, a good couple of years being offensive coordinator. And even when he was a head coach for a good couple of years, he still had, offensive play calling duties versus Judge, who's a brand new person in this head coach position, very first year, and he's taking the hands-off approach. So that's why I'm not questioning him that much, because I've seen some fruits of his labor. I've seen the fact that we're one of the most disciplined teams in the league in terms of we don't got that many penalties. We don't have any holding penalties as far as I know on the offensive line. We don't got any false start penalties as far as I know on the offensive line. When's the last time you could say that in the past 5 years with the Giants? We don't have any defensive pass interference penalties. We don't have any, what I'm saying? So I'm seeing some fruits of Judge's labor. I still have yet to see a game where, as he said it, in his press conferences, which are getting a big cookie cutter for me. So it's not like I'm completely in love with the guy where he's like, oh, we played to the end. I haven't seen a game yet where we legitimately played to the end. That's just my opinion. But I'm questioning Jason Garrett a lot more because the offense is the worst offense in the NFL, and it's been the worst offense in the NFL since week 1, where we couldn't get a run off. A lot of that to me had to do with at least for the first couple of weeks, the run blocking had to do with the fact that he had offensive linemen moving around in what seemed to be some type of stunt plays or something like that. And I'm like, that you're doing too much in that sense, right? And then obviously the offensive line the line coach under him, who is
Colombo.
with Garrett, Colombo, who's supposed to be one of the greatest offensive line coach ever, is out here. Apparently he not working his thing right now, but we'll see how that turns out. But he works in hand with Garrett. You talk about the fact that the play calling has been extremely vanilla and simple, and he's not involving Darius Slay like a number one receiver. Going back to what I was saying earlier, we're probably the only offense in the league that doesn't try to scheme our receivers open, despite the fact that they can't get open on their own. You would think he would try to make them get open on some plays. On my last Young Guns podcast, where Pest was able to hop on with Kid Blue and whatnot, they pointed out something great. The fact that Darius Slay is supposed to be used on the number one, but he's like the last read on a couple of Daniel Jones's plays, and that's not how it's supposed to be. Almost, every play action play or something they brought up, or like a toss play. What's his name? Darius Slay is supposed to be right there, the first read for Daniel Jones, but he's on the opposite side of the field, set up to be the last read, which is not how it's supposed to be. I'm just seeing a lot of things from Garrett, which I can't excuse because of his experience and because of what he's supposed to be, but I can't excuse them for Judge.
Yeah, here's my thoughts on Judge. It's way too early. Like you said, it's 3 games into his career. He inherited a bad team. He didn't have a normal offseason. I'm not going to get on Judge, and I'm not going to get too much on Garrett yet either. I recognize that, yes, the offense has looked anemic. The offense has looked very bad. I expected the offense to come out slow. Didn't expect them to come out this slow, but I thought they'd come out very slow with the new scheme and no offseason. So I'm going to give him a little bit of a buffer. I'm going to give him to week 6, week 7 until I fully evaluate this offense, because quite honestly, right now, I don't feel like we've seen the full repertoire yet. I don't feel that Garrett feels comfortable probably giving a non-vanilla playbook yet, due to the fact that his offensive line's not good, due to the fact that they probably haven't fully grasped the playbook, and they've gone up against some very good defenses. Yes, are there some things that definitely need to get a lot better? Absolutely. We're not opening up the field at all. We took one shot down the field all of last game, and it was with 2 minutes to go in the ball game. So I agree that the offense looks really bad, and if it doesn't improve by midseason, I'm going to start to really question it. But then the other thing you got to question, let's say we keep Daniel Jones. Let's play the game. Let's say we get the 3rd, 4th pick, we keep Daniel Jones. For everybody that's hating on Garrett, are you going to then fire Garrett and make Daniel Jones learn a 3rd scheme in 3 years? I mean, at that point, you're setting your quarterback up for failure. We already did. The fact they made him learn 2 schemes in 2 years, now you're going to make him learn a 3rd? To me, if you're going to stick with Jones, you got to stick with Garrett another year. That's just my opinion, but I want to get Pests.
I mean, when I watch this film, because I watch every game at least twice. When I look at this film and I see our play design, it's not good. Like, it's not good. I saw a post that Big Blue Insider was talking about a specific play call, and I retweeted it because essentially it was a 4 wide receiver set spread out, 2 on each side, and all 4 of them ran a curl. Like, all 4 of them ran a curl, and it's like, that's the best. Like, that's the best you can do. 4 curls? Is that what we're doing? And I understand that maybe it was a situational thing. Maybe it was based off of what they were seeing from the defense. I don't know. I really don't know. But, like, when I watched San Francisco on Sunday, their play design looked fantastic.
The pre-snap motion was very evident.
Pre-snap motion, people moving around, formation shifts. One guy goes this way, the other guy goes that way, confusing people, rub routes, all kinds of stuff. And it's just like, why aren't we doing stuff like that? And then to the Hub's point, to Cush's point, we were talking about that. We were talking about the fact that why is Darius Slayton on the back side of the play? Why is Darius Slayton not on the front side? Since Darius Slayton and DJ have this good connection, make him his number 2 read, because number 1 read is always the flat or the short route. I don't know. So I'm legitimately wondering is I really want to know what Joe Judge is telling Jason Garrett, because it can't be anything good. Like, and I don't know if Joe Judge is the type of dude where he's chewing his coaches out, but he should be, because, like, if I'm
apparently he makes him run laps.
Yo, if
I'll tell you right now, this whole team should be running laps, including Judge, through 3 weeks.
Yo, if I'm watching some of these other teams do this imaginative stuff, and this is the problem that I had with this team last year, it was like, yo, where's the imagination? Where's the imagination with this play design? Like, we've got, I'm not going to say we've got a bunch of weapons.
Agree or disagree? This offense looks the same as it did last year.
It looks really damn close.
I'm going to tell you what, this offense doesn't look as good as last year so far.
Yeah.
Last year, the offense wasn't horrible. Daniel Jones had four touchdown games.
It looks pretty damn close in terms of design, in terms of effectiveness.
Which is what doesn't make sense to me. That's what doesn't make any sense to me.
Like I said, if it still looks this way by week 8, week 9, I'll start to really question it. I'm trying to give this team factoring in all the obstacles they had to take in before the year started. I'm trying to give the team a fair opportunity to improve over the course of the year. But yeah, if this offense looks like this week 7, week 8, then I start to really question if Garrett was the right hire and whether or not this offensive line is getting any better, because the offensive line's been horrible. Talking Giants, man, thank you so much, man. By the way, if you guys have not gone over to Talking Giants, I was over on Bobby's channel before the stream. He was doing a film breakdown. I was just on YouTube, and I saw he was live. I'm like, oh, Bobby doesn't go live a lot. I got to go in there. I got to check it out. He is phenomenal. He is absolutely incredible breaking down film. If you guys have not subscribed to Talking Giants, go on over there and do it. Harrison Jolly, man, thank you so much for love. I really appreciate it. No line, no running back, no targets. 3rd and 4th targets are Board and Ratley. Brand new system, short off season, and no preseason. Can't blame it all on DJ, in my opinion. Harrison, you hit the nail on the head. You can't blame it all on anybody, one individual, in my opinion. That's why I'm not killing Garrett yet. I'm not killing Joe. I think they all need time to get this going. I talked about it in my video the other day. Guys, 2007 Super Bowl. And I know it's on the other side of the ball. Let me just get this next one before I lose it. Simon, man, thank you so much. Says, being a Giant fan creates a hostile environment. Yes, it does. Because you have we're a passionate fan base, and you have people on opposite ends of the spectrum that think this is the problem. This is the problem. And we're all not happy because we're losing football games. So you're right. Right now, it's definitely a hostile environment. And I will get to, have you ever been with a fat chick? Actually, let me get to it now before I lose it. Best name on YouTube. Have you ever been with a fat chick? Don't underestimate the NFL today. The Browns fired their head coach after 1 year. Rosen was set up for failure too, just like DJ in Arizona moved on. This isn't a patient league. It's just the reality of today. No, you're right. It's the generation nowadays. You're right. People want to move on as quickly as possible. I want to make sure I get all these before I lose them. Blue Collar, man, thank you very much. I was never, and we'll talk about that as well, about moving on after 1 year. I think it would be a horrible idea. I was never big on bringing wide receivers, but this might be the first time I question my thought process right now. I wish we had Diggs also. Hernandez, done. Hernandez has not been good. I'll tell you that right now. He's definitely been disappointing. And Dre Roddy, your message got retracted. I'm assuming it was a super sticker because it was 99 cents, but thank you very much. LA Lou, man, thank you very much. Says, your main problem is your run blocking. You don't win the line of scrimmage, so you can't run, and you leave DJ with a target on his back. Yeah, I mean, everything you guys said makes a lot of sense. We're going to start with the impatient one from Have You Ever Been with a Fat Chick? Listen, I fully recognize the NFL is a very impatient world. I saw what the Arizona Cardinals did, and I know a lot of Giants fans see that, and they say, well, it worked with them. Why can't it work with us? And maybe it could, but if you miss, you could set this franchise back even further if you don't use that opportunity to trade back and get a ton of assets. If you had the first pick, or if you're picking second or third, you miss that opportunity to bring in an elite player like Penei Sewell, or bring in a top-tier wide receiver like Blue Collar just said. It's risky. I'm going to tell you that right now. Now, Trevor Lawrence, from what everybody says, is a no-doubter. In terms of the coaching staff, I get what you're saying. I just don't agree with it. I don't agree with constant turnover at the head coach position, at the offensive coordinator position, because if you do that, nobody knows what the hell's going on. Every year, you're behind the 8 ball. You have to learn a completely new scheme. You have to get accustomed to a completely new head coach. I don't like it. I don't think that that's what wins. You look at the best teams in the league, and I know that they're good coaches and they're good GMs, but they stay together. They have familiarity. You can't keep turning this over. That's just my take on it. I'll give you guys a chance.
Go ahead, Kush.
I just want to. This might get annoying for some people. I just want to wait a little bit more. I mean, We're literally technically 1.5 years into this rebuild, even though you could argue that the Giants have been rebuilding essentially since 2011. So you could break down different rebuild periods, but for this rebuild period, if you want to call it that, we've just been in it for 1.5 years now. And all I'm going to say is, despite all my frustrations, I still want to wait it out and see what happens at the end of the season. I still want to wait it out. And like honestly, I still thought that this was a 3-year thing. Me and Tana have been talking about this for months, on and off of YouTube now. That I legitimately thought that the Giants would make moves, as in progress greatly next year, not this year. So like I still want to wait it out and see what happens.
What about you, Pest?
Sometimes when I watch this fan base and I hear them talk and I watch their tweets, I question how old they are. I question how long. I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm being.
I know.
Wait, I question how old these guys are because it almost feels like a lot of Giants fans became Giants fans or are so young that they inherited their Giants fandom, while we were winning Super Bowls, and they forget about like the early '90 Giants that were really, really bad. Like the early to mid '90 Giants, they were bad. Like they were bad for a long time, and then we went to the Super Bowl in 2000, and it was like, oh, we're good again. How did that happen? And we got stomped. Some people forget like that this team has a history of going hot and cold, and that's not to make an excuse.
This is as cold as it's been, though. This is as cold as it's been, though.
I mean, listen. I can remember it being. I remember. I don't remember what season because I was really young, but I can remember a season where the Giants had a losing season again, and there were like several Giants on the bench crying as the time clicked off of the last game of the season. Like they were literally crying, wiping tears away because they were so bad. I distinctly remember this as a kid, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, again, I'm not making excuses. I'm not telling y'all not to be mad, right? I'm not telling people not to be pissed off. But, like, this ain't the first time that this team has been bad. It's not. This might be the first time for some of y'all. But for someone like me, right, who's been a fan of this team since, like, 1984, okay, when I was old enough to realize what football was, 1984.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm about to lose a super chat. I just want to make sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Orson Morse first said, what do you guys think of Andrew Thomas? We're going to get to that in 1 second. And T Savage, thank you very much, says, hire me as GM. I say we either go Jamar Chase round 1 and Daniel, I don't know who that is. I haven't done enough draft research. Daniel Falele in round 2 or Creed Humphrey round 1, who's the center, and Rondell Moore round 2. T Savage? I'll let the Giants know. Chisolo, he says, if we get the first pick, trade down and get Chase. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Andrew Thomas as well. And Asia says, stand up, my sexy Tana. You never said the subs was PTA and the hub. You got the big boys. I just got 4 words to say. The Giants win a freaking game, PTA and hub. Let's go, Yankees. And LA Lou says, I saw Fleming get blown back 2 yards on a running play. You need to insert Parrott and Lemieux and go younger and more mobile. And then we'll get to fix the D-line and O-line in a second. But I want to talk about
you. The one thing I got from all the super chats you just read was that PTA is also a Yankees fan. What a PTA! I didn't know that.
I'm a Mets fan. Unfortunately,
I'm a Yankees fan. Yes.
Is it bad that I low-key want to see just a little bit of a fight break out between the Yankees and the Rays?
I think it's gonna be a great series. By the way,
I expect it to be a really good series.
Maybe a little. Bit.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
But no, you're good. It's this is your world. I just live in it a little bit. I understand people being mad, right? Because like I have said that the past Sunday's game was one of the worst New York Giants games I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot of bad football from the New York Giants. Okay, I am not going to sit here and make excuses for this team. All right, I'm not. But the fact of the matter is that, like, sometimes it takes time. Sometimes it's longer. Sometimes it's not as long. We don't know, all right? We don't know. Not that this is going to happen, but the Giants could win every game the rest of the season. We don't know. Like,
not going to happen, but we don't know.
It's not going to happen. We don't know. Next year, the Giants could be in a Super Bowl. We don't know. Every year that the Giants went to the Super Bowl, the year prior, we were like, this team sucks. Like, every year.
You don't know.
I actually want to get you and Tana's thoughts on this. Before we went live, I saw a tweet that said the Giants, if you take out the 4 Super Bowl runs, are actually not a good franchise. What do you guys think about that? Speaking on the hot and cold stuff.
I'll get to that in 1 second. I just don't want to lose this one. Fix the O-line. D-line says, Judge's first big test is Kenny direct Garrett's game plan. Wish we could get details of those conversations. Who do you think is really calling the shots with our offense? I think it's Garrett.
It has to be, right?
Yeah,
Who else would it be?
I definitely think it's Garrett. And L.A. Lou, to go back to your point about Fleming, Fleming's bad. I think they're going to wait until probably week 8 or possibly even a little bit later to insert Barrett because we're going up against great pass rushers. He's thought to be a little bit underweight. He's thought to be a developmental project. That's just my opinion. And Fleming has actually played better the last week or two. He's still not good, but I think they're going to wait a little bit longer. But I think you will see Barrett before the end of the year. I also wanted to talk about Andrew Thomas. Somebody asked me about him. But yeah, I as far as the play calling, I think it's definitely Garrett.
Great Wuda is killing me in the comments, y'all. Great Wuda is killing me.
Great Wood is a great subscriber of mine. He's a great guy, but he's an opinionated Giant fan. He's like all of us. He's an opinionated Giant fan.
Killing me he's taking my words out of context. He's making stuff up.
PTA, yo, it's okay, bro. They've been killing me in the comments too. I've been following it as well. They killing me for saying that I'm not on Judge's back yet because of the whole penalties thing, bro. It's okay. I've been reading it too.
I'm one of the most brutally honest Giants guys in the world. I've been crapping on this team for a year and some change on YouTube, but I'm okay with us losing. I don't know how that's a thing.
LA Lou, man, thank you very much. He says make all those changes next week. Listen, man, there's got to be changes that are made. I am worried about Nick Gates this week, and I like Nick Gates. And if Talking Giants is still in here, I know he loves Nick Gates, and he was giving some props in the film breakdown. I worry about Nick Gates, man. He's going up against Aaron Donald, and he's going to get his lunch eaten. I mean, Aaron Donald is a monster. I want to see the fullback out there every play. You got to do everything you can to keep Daniel Jones on his feet tomorrow because Aaron Donald is an animal, and Nick Gates doesn't stand a chance.
Mm-hmm. Before I get on to that, Word says you may have missed his super chat. I saw it might have been like a $2 one. I don't know the $2 ones. I know they go way quicker, but
I'm trying to read them as quickly as I can, but I don't want to interrupt the flow of the conversation. So if I miss one, guys, I'm sorry, guys. Let me just read them now so I don't lose them. Mm-hmm. Shake Money, man, thank you so much. He says, is Vic DiPotetto your angry Obama? Great stream, go Marlins. Shake Money is a huge Miami Dolphins, and Vic D is hysterical, by the way.
I love Vic. You know what? Yeah. Vic was actually the first Giants, quote-unquote Giants YouTuber that I ever saw, because the first Giants stuff I ever saw on YouTube was Vic's posting pregame stuff back in like 2017.
He's hysterical. He's actually a stand-up. He's a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
But as far as the Marlins go, Shake Money, man, I gotta say, man, and I know you guys aren't the biggest baseball fans in the world. The Marlins were thought to be the worst team in baseball this year. They were missing half their team due to COVID, and they're in the second round of the playoffs. So, Shake Money, man, you guys got something magical going on over there. So, congratulations to that. Angel Rodriguez says, should the season be canceled because of Corona? I don't think so. I don't think it will.
Oh, yeah, because now what? The Titans and the Steelers game was pushed back to what, week 9 or something?
And the Patriots game because Cam Newton.
Because Cam got it. I didn't know they pushed it back. Was they pushed it back hours or days?
As of now, it's Monday or Tuesday, but they said the same thing about the Steelers, and then they gave them a bye week, so it may change. Who knows? But yeah, now you're starting to see some. But this was inevitable. We knew this was going to happen. The same thing happened with baseball. Now with football, it's going to be a little harder, I think, for them to make it work because you only play once a week. It's much harder to have makeup games. You need weeks to recover. So if this keeps up, there could be a scheduling conflict, and you don't want to be playing the Super Bowl in late March or something like that when you have the draft like 3 weeks later. So that's something that you got. That it could be a challenge. I think they'll make it work, but. So far, the NFL's done great with it, to be honest with you. But now, this is now 2 weeks in a row where we're starting to get some positives.
Exactly. I agree with you. The NFL has honestly done probably the best job out of any league, not named the NBA. And even the NBA has problems with their bubble. I was going to say the NFL did way better than I thought without doing some type of a bubble situation, whether it would have been 32 separate bubbles or maybe even less number of bubbles. And they've done a really great job. You could argue they've done a better job than the NBA because, once again, even with the bubble, the NBA has had some incidents.
Yeah. 100%.
I'm super happy with the way that they've handled this whole situation, because like at the end of the day, this is probably the only sport. I mean, basketball. There's a lot.
No, this is the real contact sport, man.
But this is the contact sport, man. This is the contact sport, and it's for us to right now only be talking about. Okay, we got a couple of teams, got a little bit of exposure. We got another team, got some exposure. And it's not like rampant across the NFL. I think they're doing okay. This is going to happen, and they're going to have to figure out a way around it.
Yeah, the one thing they could have done is maybe done what baseball did, where they did it so the teams played geographically close to one another. I thought they could have done that, changed the schedules around so the Giants played the Jets, the Giants played the Bills, rather than them traveling all the way to the West Coast. they could have done stuff like that. But overall, being that there's only been a few positive tests so far, and when you include that they've been doing it now for 2 months when you factor in training camp, it's pretty good. It's about definitely as good as you could have hoped for. New York Flight, man, thank you very much for love. I appreciate it. He says, I'm sorry. Are we the only team that didn't have an offseason? Chicago is 3-0 right now. We're a bad team. Stop making excuses for this shit show. We are a bad team. We're a horrible team.
We're
I'm not
the
making
worst team in the. I don't think anybody.
Excuses.
I'm not making any.
I don't think anybody on this panel right now would disagree with me when I say this is the worst team in the NFL.
No. I get it. I get it. First off, he's a great subscriber of mine. Fans are pissed off. Fans hate that we're 0-3. And I'm not going to make excuses. I just tell you why we are 0-3 and why I expected us to be 0-3 or 1-2 at best. The Chicago Bears, first off, they have the same coaching staff. They have the same. They are at an advantage. There's 5 teams. Guys, there are 5 teams that have a new head coach. I'm going to give you their records. Dallas Cowboys, who have a ton of talent, are 1-2. New York Giants are 0-3. Washington is 1-2. And their win was against the Eagles, who were banged up. The Browns are 2-1. They beat the Bengals. And they beat Washington, who has a new head coach. So one of the teams had to win. And the other team is the Carolina Panthers, who are 1-2. So every team with a new head coach, the Giants are, of course, 0-3, are struggling mightily. Now, of course, the teams that had new head coaches weren't great teams to begin with, outside of the Browns and the Cowboys, who had talent. But it's what we should have expected, in my opinion, going into the year with a team that lacked some talent and a team that had a completely new offense and defense to learn when you didn't have preseason games. It's not excuses. It's why I feel they're as bad as they've been doing. And they have a bad team.
And I'm just going to say, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Pest. I'm just going to say, I don't mean to put another excuse out there, but we probably have the toughest first 6 weeks in the NFL. I'm just going to put that out there as well.
I just had to look at my phone because, like, when over here in our little studio area, right? I can't see the title. I just had to make sure that this was New York Giants Q&A Roundtable and not New York Giants Q&A with the 3 homers, because there's nobody on this panel right now who is gushing over how this team could be amazing, but how this team could be good, but like everybody that's on this panel has told you, like from the very beginning, we got problems. I've said it, Kush has said it, Chris has said it. We've all said, like, this team has got problems from the very beginning. Not a single person here, like, really honestly predicted a winning season and was like, a guaranteed book it, lock it down. No one here did that. All of us said that this team was bad. We know this team is bad. If you think we're making excuses for this team, I'm not really sure what to tell you.
Well, I think that some people just want to hear that the team is horrible. I just do it. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I acknowledge the team is bad. I acknowledge the team has a lot to work on, but I look for things to look forward to, things that are going to get me through the season, things that are going to set us up better for next year. I'm looking for the players on this team who are young, inexperienced, learning new schemes, knowing that we're going to be a bad team this year. I'm hoping that some of those guys get better and they're part of the future of this football team. But by no means did I ever think this team was winning more than 6, 7 games tops if everything broke right. And at this point, I think they're going to win 4 games maybe. I don't think we're a very good football team. They're even worse than I initially anticipated through 3 weeks. But we could only hope that it gets better. I mean, that's my mindset.
This is about building the foundational core of our team at this point. Like, that's where we are now. And it kind of started like last year, but it's really in full effect this year. And unfortunately, right, for the last 3 years with our general manager, it went from trying to win to, that wasn't right, I should have did that, I should have tried to rebuild, to, okay, now let's rebuild. And now we're in a position where we are building the foundational core of our team. You can't win games when you don't have the foundational core of your team. We're not going to win a lot of games, y'all. It's not going to happen because we're not there yet. We ain't built like that yet. And it sucks. And I'm sorry y'all all mad. I'm mad too. Chris mad too. Kush mad too. Like, we all mad.
I would much rather like to cover a team that's great. Believe me. Sometimes I hate coming on here and telling you guys that we have to wait and that we suck, and it sucks. But it's part of the rebuild process. And Josh, by the way, says, "What's going on, Hub?" And good luck tomorrow. So, Josh, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that.
Valencia. He's a Dolphins fan, so he's very happy coming off of a win that nobody expected him to get in week 3.
That's pretty bad that nobody. I actually picked them to beat the Jaguars, but I understand that the Jaguars look
Yeah.
decent. Pastor Ray, man, thank you very much. He says, guys, I've been watching the Giants since '79. This might be the worst team I've ever seen. I get the desire to push patience, but it's been rough. Pastor, I 1,000% agree with you. And trust me, it would be a lot easier for me to come on here and say exactly what you guys want me to say. It would be so much easier for me to come on here and just rant every week and say, the team sucks, the team's awful, the team's horrible. It's never going to get better, because that's how you guys feel. It would be so much easier for me to do that. Believe me.
We get more views and way more clicks.
But that's just not me. I try to take a glass half full approach and think that this team could get better. That's just not me. And everybody's entitled to root for the team the way they want to. They're entitled to break down the team the way they want to. That's just me. I like to look for brighter things. I know this is going to be a tough year. I knew it going into the year, and I'm hoping that it improves. Word, man. Thanks so much for love. I appreciate it. Love all three of you. Bless up and hope for an upset. We need a monumental upset, Word. But thank you so much, man, for being such a great supporter of the channel. I appreciate it. And Pastor Ray, again, man, thank you so much. He says, this is why in 2018 I said we needed to rebuild the lines and the defense instead of taking a skilled position. Our timeline is off. The quarterback was put in a bad spot. Lack of a clear plan is the biggest. 1,000%. 1,000%. It's what I said at the top of the stream, Pastor Ray. The New York Giants set Saquon Barkley up for failure. The New York Giants set Daniel Jones up for failure. And, yeah, Daniel Jones is not a Pat Mahomes-like talent. He's not an Aaron Rodgers-like talent. So to give him the foundation that you gave him, you set him up for failure. And it's the same thing for Saquon Barkley. You drafted a running back, and it's not like they didn't try. They drafted Hernandez. They signed Solder, but it didn't work. So you set your two biggest picks up for failure, and that goes on the general manager. I'll be the first to say it, and I try to support Dave Gettleman whenever I can. You haven't seen me supporting him lately, okay? It hasn't worked out, okay? The offensive line has not gotten better. That was his focal point when he took the job. I can't defend him. He's had 3 years. The offensive line still looks bad. I hope it looks better by year's end. I agree with his philosophy, but he hasn't carried out the plan. Not yet, anyway. That's for sure. So I got to be fair, and that's me being fair. I try to support Gettleman. I try to support stability. The offensive line has not worked out. The offensive line did not set Daniel Jones up for success. It did not set Saquon Barkley up for success. And because of that, we get killed in the time of possession. We don't convert third downs. It wears down the defense, and the New York Giants lose football games. Period. End of story. I've been watching this team for the last 10 years. The offensive line's been at the bottom of the league, and it hasn't gotten any better. So I don't know what else to say. Chizola, man, thank you so much for love. I appreciate it. He says, I think Garrett got to be more aggressive deep shots. I completely agree with you. I think Garrett needs to take more shots. Hopefully the offensive line gets better. Give me your guys' thoughts on that. Why do you think he hasn't taken more deep shots? What do you think the primary reason for that is?
I honestly can't answer that, man. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think last game he took one deep shot. I have no logical answer for that. I can't say something like, oh, maybe he's still trying to set up the run so that, the defense, plays a little bit harder, and that way it's a bit soft in the back, because honestly, he hasn't been trying to set up the run like that because the run just isn't there. I can't say, oh, it's because the short passes are working, because the short passes haven't been working. I honestly can't answer that, Chris. I don't know why we haven't taken more deep shots. Maybe it is because it popped into my mind just now as I was talking. Like I said earlier, the receivers just aren't getting open. So maybe they aren't getting open downfield as well.
And I also think it has to. My answer is the fact that I don't think the offensive line can hold blocks. Watch, Doctor, man. Thank you very much. He says, win every game. I like to smoke what Best is smoking. Well, I don't think he actually thinks that.
I don't. All I'm simply saying is that we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. No, we're not going to win every game. It ain't going to happen. We're going to lose a lot of games. But what I'm saying is that we don't know what the future holds. We don't know what's going to happen. Okay. So while you guys are all like not all of you, but while the people who are angry and yelling to the mountaintops about get this player, get that player, do this, do that, like you don't know if that's going to work. Just like we don't know if it's not going to work. Like we don't know. Yeah.
We got to let the plan play out. Simon, man, thank you very much. Says Jones going to be looking out his ear hole by halftime. Yeah, you could say that most games, but this week against this Rams team, if they can't establish that run, which I fear they're probably not going to be able to, Jones could be in for a long day. And I hope not, because I know then it's just going to pile more and more and more and more. And I think Jones's biggest problem right now, more so than anything else, and I'm not making excuses, But I think the biggest problem for him right now is he's trying to do more than he's capable of. He sees that he's got a team that he can't support him. He sees that they can't run the football. He sees that the defense can't hold the opponents to under 25 points. And he knows he's got to go out there and put up touchdowns, and he's trying to do things that he's not capable of doing. Like I said, he's not Aaron Rodgers. And I think that's the biggest problem right now because he's not set up properly. Daniel Jones is trying to be Aaron Rodgers, and he's just not. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
let's see what we got. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at. I laughed at that because sometimes it seems like Daniel Jones is trying to do way too much.
Yeah, I think he is. The last pick he threw before the half. What is he doing there? He's trying to put the team on his back.
Exactly. Like I said, it's been dumb decision making, just bad decision making, and a lot of that has come from him trying to do hero ball. And I know at least some people are gonna see in the chat as me making excuses, but like he feels that way for a reason because nothing else is working.
It feels like he's on Duke again.
Yeah.
It feels like he's on Duke.
Yeah, like KB said in the last stream, you look at that team on against the 49ers, it literally looks like DJ's Duke team.
Yeah. Yeah. Chizola, man, thank you very much. He says, I think the NFL season will end sometime in March. It's possible. I mean, the Super Bowl is usually the first week of February. Mm-hmm. That would mean it gets pushed back a month. I mean, I don't think it'll be that far, but I could see it get delayed 2 weeks. With all these positive tests coming out if it continues. I could see that. I don't think it'll be a month though. Giselle, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And let's see here, John Williams, man, thank you very much. Every team the Giants played had a set system at least 3 years. That's what I said. Bears had the same coaching staff. Steelers had the same coaching staff. And the 49ers had the same coaching staff. 49ers have had the same coach for 4 years. Nagy's been there, I think, for 3. And the Steelers, Tomlin's been there since we've been alive. So, I mean, you had teams that were accustomed to their schemes. And we were at a tremendous disadvantage going into the year. I would have to think about it. There's probably only 3 or 4 teams that had a completely new offense and defense going into the year. Probably only 3 or 4 teams. The Redskins were another one of them, but not many. So we were at a huge disadvantage going into the year. That's just facts. I'm not making excuses. That's just being realistic. Should we have played a lot better last week? Absolutely. It was embarrassing. It was one of the worst New York Giants games I've ever watched, at least in recent memory. It was horrible. There was not one positive thing to say. The defense played horrible. The offense played horrible. Gano was the player of the game. He made a couple of field goal kicks. That's about it.
Anytime your kicker is the player of the game, something went wrong.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. OGR, man, thank you very much, man. If you guys haven't done so, please go over there, check out OGR Sports. He'll definitely be on one of these soon. He couldn't come on tonight. He says, everyone on the panel needs to take a lap. All that being said, we all know the culprits. Behind the Giants' struggles, ownership. We're 51-80 since 2012. The only constant has been ownership. Oh, yeah. I mean, OGR, you hit the nail on the head. And I agree, but the ownership is what sets everybody up for failure. And whether you hate Gettleman or whether you like him, he set him up for failure. Whether you hate Judge or Shermer or whoever, they were all set up for failure. Ownership's been bad, but the problem is we can't get rid of ownership. So we could cry till the cows come home. You can't do anything about that until such time the Mara's sold the team. But yeah, Mara's not been a good owner of the New York Giants. Make no mistake about it. I hate the fact that he's basically been putting pressure on the guys at the top. Make your decision at the end of the season. I don't need you talking to the press. I don't need, to Gettleman's credit, he didn't go out there and sign a bunch of stupid contracts to try to save his job. But it was something I certainly worried about at the beginning of the year when Mara's coming out and saying, basically, if you don't win, you're going to lose your job. I don't think that was a smart idea.
I mean, I've been saying since basically April, May that ownership's been the problem, and they've progressively in the last 5 or so years gotten worse and worse. That's all I gotta say about it. What about you, Pest?
I don't know what the issue is with Mara. Okay, I'm not even gonna go in on Tish. Okay, Tish don't really.
Does Tish even do anything as an owner?
No, Tish be making movies. He making money off. It's Mara that's doing all the day-to-day operation stuff, man. And he seems to have lost his way.
And I just want to say, by the way, since 2011, which is essentially since the Giants have been bad, the head of player personnel, I think, is Mara's brother. I just want to put that out there. I don't know if it has anything to do with anything. I'm just putting that out there.
I don't know. Mara needs to pull his head out of his backside because he is really dragging his team down. And I just, as a Giants fan, right? It's embarrassing, yo. It's embarrassing. And I'm sick of people talking smack to me about my team. I'm sick of it.
I think we all are. I mean, when's the last time? Think about it. But even when they were good, if you're fair, it was very rarely the case. But when was the last time we we were going into the fourth quarter and we said we got this game locked up.
No.
Like,
When was the last time we went into a game and we were like, we got this game locked up?
Yeah, exactly. So we have not had the only dominant football team we've really had since 2008 was the last dominant.
I was gonna
team
say that, yeah, 2008.
Yeah, I mean, so no, ownership's not been good.
Zach Martinez, not 2016, because that 2016 team actually started falling off the rails about like week 10 when they couldn't score more than 20 points a game.
I hate that team. I hate that team. That team was fake. Okay, that team was all the way up and down fake. We were not as good as our record showed.
They played a soft schedule.
They did play a soft schedule, yeah.
Yeah, that team was fake. I hated that team.
The thing is, though, PTA, as much as I hate that team for being fake, I agree with you. I legitimately thought that if we didn't face the Packers in the wild card, like if we faced the Falcons or something in the wild card, we would have beaten them. I'm just, don't want to reminisce too much.
No, I agree. Aaron Rodgers was just on another level.
Maybe. As soon as we had to play the Packers, I was like,
it's over.
This is a wrap. I was like, this is a wrap.
I actually know we had a shot, and then they went on the boat trip, and then I said it's a wrap.
I said this is a wrap from the jump.
Zeke, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. He says it's hard to accept that reality of losing this year and the reason for it when we've been losing. I agree, Zeke. I agree with you. It's hard for me to accept it too. I know it may not seem like it. I try to be the voice of reason. These guys do too. I try to. And you see it sometimes. Sometimes it comes out when I live stream. I'm a fan, guys. I get pissed off. I flip out. But then when I have a day or two to let it sink in, and I've been so pissed off this week. I was going to do this last night. They could attest to this. I couldn't go live.
That's how being transparent. Thank you, Chris, because I was going to ask you if we could be transparent because none of us wanted to do it, but we was all willing to do it.
Last night, I was so pissed off about this team. I said, we're going to go live. I even mentioned it in my video. And then 3 or 4 hours before, I said, I need another day. I need another day to recover before I can talk about this team.
And it was also the motivation. Like sometimes you really be struggling to find the motivation to talk about this team.
Yeah, and once I get into the groove and I start talking about it, I love the team. I love talking about the team. But it's tough right now to be a New York Giant fan. Believe me, we all know it. I just try to be the voice of reason.
Full disclosure, okay? Every Friday, right? Like clockwork, I do a game. I do a game preview every Friday, like clockwork. Okay, go look on my channel and see if there's a game review from yesterday. Go look. Okay. Now life happened, and that kind of prevented me from being able to do it. But if there was no life that happened that prevented me from doing it, I didn't want to do it. Because I'm like, yo, what am I supposed to come out here and say? What am I supposed to come out here and say about this team and about this upcoming game? Bring your black suit? Because
last time we brought the black suits, we won the Super Bowl.
Because real talk, I was going to put my black suit on for this. That's not even a joke. I was gonna put on my black suit for this. I was gonna come here in a black suit and say, we going to a funeral, y'all, and it's our funeral. We about to get killed. Like,
it's tough. It's tough, man.
Some of y'all think that we just sit here, right, and we're just like we're positive about this team for no other reason.
Thank you for bringing it up, Pez. There's definitely people in the chat that think we're complete homers. And if you go and you look at my preview, obviously it's a shameless plug, but in that one, literally like 5 minutes in, I'm literally just like, I can't say we're gonna win this game. I don't usually save my prediction till the very end. 5 minutes into that video, I'm like, I can't sit here and lie to y'all and tell you that I think we're gonna win this game. And the rest of the video essentially becomes talking about how great the Rams are compared to the Giants.
Hey, go look at my Twitter feed. Go look at my Twitter feed as I'm talking about this. Go look at my Twitter feed. My entire Twitter feed is like, this team is so bad at this place and that spot and this.
We're not happy. We're not happy. Believe me, we're not happy. Watch document. Thank you very much. He says, unlike Washington, the D-line, Philadelphia, the tight end, and the O-line, even though their O-line's not good this year, and Dallas, offensive line, running back, wide receivers, not sure G-men have any reliable unit by the end of the year. What unit do you think it will be, if any? Well, I'm going to exclude special teams. I believe in our special teams, but I'm not counting that. D-line is pretty reliable if we're just talking strictly up at the line of scrimmage, but we don't know if Leonard Williams is going to be back next year. They may trade him. He's a free agent. But I think our D-line is probably the best unit on this football team. Is he talking
about like right now as of October 3rd, 2020?
I think he means more so by year end. What do you think will be the most reliable unit? The secondary yes and no. Jabril Peppers to me has been one of the most disappointing players on this team this year.
Can we talk about that for a second? The secondary just went back down. I don't know if it ever went up from it, but the secondary is clearly the weakest point of this defense right now. We have James Bradbury out there, who's the only person I can call reliable. A couple of backups, Logan Ryan, who I hope has had enough time to get to know the playbook yet, which is why I'm not getting on him, because I know he came on to us basically a week before the season started, so it would take time for him to get adjusted and whatnot. But he hasn't shown to be reliable yet. Hopefully he can show that now. But other than James Bradbury, who you guys reliable on? Who can you guys rely on in the secondary right now? Because Peppers is out. McKinney is obviously out. Julian Love, I'm not sure if he was cleared or not for the game. That might be a game time decision.
Valentine sucks. Our secondary has been very disappointing this year. I would say if I had to pick a unit, I'd pick the D-line. I think the offensive line will be better by year's end. I still don't think it'll be a strength yet. Yeah, I'd go with the D-line, and even that's not like a great strength due to the fact that there's a good possibility we'll lose Dalvin Tomlinson or potentially Leonard Williams. But I would say that's probably our biggest strength at the end of the year. Let me see what we got here. Let's see what we got. New York Flight, man. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, man. He says, blaming the schedule. We lost to a bunch of backups. Best thing for the Giants is if the virus shuts down the season, then Pest can have all the time in the world to look at his phone.
Yeah, wait a minute. I just want to say, I don't know who that comment was directed towards, because I was the one that brought up the schedule, even though that's not what I was arguing. So, Pest, you could take this, because the end of it was actually directed towards you.
What?
Hey, yo, wait. Why y'all coming at me tonight? Why y'all coming at me? What did I do to you aside from telling y'all to relax and understand that this team is bad and it's gonna be bad? What did I do? Because I'm not even looking at my phone. I'm not even touching my phone. I'm sitting here listening to the conversation. What did I do? How did I get put into this?
Somebody just told me to get off the show.
Blame Kush. Blame Kush for that schedule.
Like I said, I take that, even though they took it completely out of context. I'll take the blame for that one. And somebody literally just typed, "Yo, get this man off the show," referring to me.
Was he referring to you or was he referring to me? They're
nah, they said Hub.
Oh, because you were saying they're big angry at me tonight.
This is the tough part about being content creators on YouTube, and this is how we're diehard fans. You're gonna have to face an angry mob. I had to do it last year. I had to do it the year before. It's gonna happen. People are going to be upset, and people are going to want answers, and they're not going to want to hear the things that we try to say. But here's the thing, guys. For all the people that are super negative, if we came on here and we were as negative as you guys were, why would you even tune in? Just to hear other people rant as much as you do? So,
also, Chris, the stream would be about half an hour long.
Yeah, I try. Yeah. We are just as upset as you guys. We're just trying to say it could get better, and we hope it does. But listen. We suck. I say it all the time. I will change my intro to my videos if you guys want me to do it. I said it in my last stream. What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. The New York Giants suck. The New York Giants are horrible. If you guys want me to say that in every video to make yourselves feel better, I'll do it. I try to be positive. I try to see that things could get better if we continue to progress, but we are far away from being a good football team. I'm not going to sugarcoat that.
Can I try that? Can I try that, Chris?
Go ahead. One second, let me just get this before I lose it. Do the Giants pick up Saquon's fifth year without an O-line? Well, first off, he's got to prove that he's healthy. Until such time he does that, I can't answer that question. He's got to prove he's healthy. Go ahead, buddy.
Yo, what is going on? Welcome to PTA Sports. I am your host, Pest the Analyst, and the New York Giants are ass juice, y'all. They are
I got you. Let me go next.
Terrible, yo. Let's talk about it.
Since we're all doing our intros with that, I got you. What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's another video about the New York Football Knicks. We out here talking about ownership. We're out here talking about how we suck and we can't do anything.
Yo, that's what we can do. We can come on every time and say, yo, this team sucks. And maybe that'll make you
and it's never going to get better, and we're horrible, and everything is awful, and we'll never get better.
But listen, I'm here for the smoke, okay? I'm here for the smoke, so I don't give a I almost cursed. I don't care how much.
Let me just get this. I don't want to lose it. Pastor Ray says, are you guys worried that Mara seems to like guys who fit a certain character trait rather than the most talented players, a.k.a. the Odell situation? I'll get to that in a second. And John, The NHL has been dealing with the virus 0 cases. I don't know if they have. Oh, I got to get to a bunch. Andrew, man, thank you very much. We're bad in time. Things will improve. Also, want to apologize to the Hub. Months ago, I got into it with him, but in the comments, don't remember exactly why, but I appreciate his passion. Go Giants. Pastor Ray says Tampa game was the worst thing that happened to Jones. I completely agree with that. Matador says McVay rebuilt the Rams in a COVID-19 summer. The Jaguars and Bengals already look better than us. Listen, I'm not saying we're doing a good job. I'm not. We could be doing better. I'm not going to tell you guys that. Nick the Wickman, thank you very much, says Tina, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And Blue Collar, thank you very much. Arizona had 5 wins last year. They are very similar to us. They look miles ahead of us. If we put new coaches and no training camp aside, is it possible we just don't have the talent? We don't have the talent. We don't have the talent. It's a combination of a bunch of things, but
a whole bunch of stuff.
We don't have the talent. It's not that it's possible. We don't have the talent. I'm not telling you, maybe when I talk, because I'm trying to say things could get better, maybe people don't realize that, so that's on me. We don't have the talent. We do not have the talent. We have a number 2 receiver. We don't have a number 1. We have an offensive line where we think we have a left tackle of the future, and I still think we do. I'm still fully bought into Andrew Thomas. We don't know what Hernandez is. At this point, he's been a disappointment. Zeitler's not going to be a part of the future of this team.
Is it too much if I say we need to make like a decision on Hernandez by the end of the year because of how he's performed the past 2 years and in this year?
I'm going to give him till the end of the year. But
that's what I'm saying, at the end of the year.
Yeah, it doesn't look good right now. Zeitler's not going to be a part of the future of this team. We don't know what we got in Peart. So the offensive line outside of Andrew Thomas was still somewhat of a question mark. We don't have any answers there. We hope that these guys mature into that, but there's no answers there. Our best player had an injury, tore his ACL. We don't know if he's ever going to be the same. We don't know if Daniel Jones is a franchise quarterback. The talent's not close to Arizona. It's not close to Arizona. And I'm not going to tell you that it is. Our talent is near the bottom of the league. It's near the bottom of the league. We have young players that we hope that can mature. We've drafted high at the top of the draft the last 3 years. We have some young players that we think have upside, but they haven't hit it yet. So, no, our talent's not even close to the Arizona Cardinals. Not even close. Riley, man, thank you very much. He says, what is up, Chris? This team makes me so mad. New York Giants for life. Makes us all mad when we watch them get killed on Sunday. Pastor Ray, thank you very much. Secondary sucks because we don't have a pass rush. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I think we have some injuries. They're inexperienced. But yeah, I mean, we name a good pass rusher on this team. We don't have one.
We don't have one single guy. I will say it is better than what I expected it to be, because the whole defense as a whole is better than what I expected it to be. I think we all expected the defense and the offense to kind of be in switch positions right now. So yeah, I'm just gonna say that on it, because pass rush wise, we've been okay. We've been like right around NFL average, which is way better than what I expected it to be.
A lot of those sacks have been coverage sacks, though, in the earlier games. We don't have a guy.
It's funny you bring that up in regards to what the person said. We don't have a secondary because there's no pass rush.
Yeah, the first couple of games, I thought we were solid in coverage outside of the cornerback too. But overall, our secondary is not that good. Our defense is not that good yet. They're underdeveloped. They're learning a new scheme, and we don't have an impact player on defense. We don't have a guy going on either side of the ball now that Barkley's hurt. Going into the game where teams go, we have to worry about this player. Teams look at our defense and they're like, yeah, no, Carter doesn't really scare me. Zimenez is nothing now.
Has been nothing this year.
So we don't have that. Right now, if you ask me in terms of impact players, what positions we need an impact wide receiver. We need an impact edge rusher. We need a coverage linebacker. We need a cornerback too. We need a center. I don't know if I said that. We could potentially need a quarterback. I hope it's not the case. We need a lot. We're not going to be a great team next year. We're not, unless we spend a boatload in free agency and hit in the draft. But we're at least 2 years away at this point. The way that I hope I'm wrong, but I think 2022 is when you could hope to really see this team have an opportunity to be really good. The way it looks right now, hopefully it gets a lot better and we all feel differently at the end of the year. But right now, if I'm being honest, that's the way I feel. Let's see what we got here. Frank, man, thank you very much. He says the black suit movement. Giants are straight up trash for years. It's exhausting as a fan. It is, believe me. And Pastor Ray says, you guys hear about the Eagles fans flagging down Fisk? I heard about. I didn't know who it was. I actually talked to Fisk today. He called me on the phone.
Was it Eagles fans? Was it Eagles
I don't know who it was.
I want to say it was Cowboys fans, because was it last week?
I mean, he went in on Cowboys fans.
Yeah, he had that one stream where the peak viewers was like around like 150. but he had almost like 200, 300 dislikes, all from Cowboys fans, like tweeting it out, like, go dislike this video and whatnot. So I want to say it was those pissed off Cowboys fans, but he's been having problems with several fan bases for weeks now. Like the Bills got him banned on Twitter and stuff. Yeah,
the Bills got him banned on Twitter. It's hey, Chris, next time you talk to Fisk Vegas, man, you tell him I said I still rock with the Fisk unit, man. He could be all right. I saw that today, man. That's rough, man. That's so rough.
Yeah. New York Flight, man, thank you very much. Just pest because you have no idea what you're saying, my guy.
Wait, what?
I'm talking about, I guess, looking down at your phone, I guess, regarding the New York Giants.
Who said that?
New York for life.
Hey, New York for life. Come on my live stream on Wednesday. Turn your camera on. Come on my live stream on Wednesday. I'm giving you an open invitation to be the number 2 chair on my live stream next Wednesday.
Pest, has anybody ever accepted that open invitation?
No, you coming? You coming?
You know what I'm going to do next one when we do one of these live streams? I'm going to have subscribers come on via video, and we're going to let you guys
for a while, haven't you?
Yeah. But I'm saying I'll do that next time when we have a panel of Giants guys. We'll have one at a time. They'll come on for 4 or 5 minutes. They'll ask a question. We'll talk. Then we'll get the next person on. That's what we'll do.
Big Blue.
That's very interesting.
That Big Blue for life, right? Big Blue for life. Follow me on Twitter so I can DM you the link. You come on my live stream on Wednesday.
Oh, I'm sure some of my moderators could put the links to both these gentlemen. They're on my channel all the time, but if you could put the links, I appreciate it.
Come on my live stream. Because if I don't know and you know more than me, then maybe you can come and give me some analysis. Come on my live stream.
LA Lou, man,
I'm here for the smoke. I don't run from nothing.
LA Lou, man, thank you very much. You're taking me back to 2016 and Jeff Fisher. Yeah, you guys, Fisher with the Rams definitely didn't work out. You got McVay in there, and I actually compared the Rams. You guys were much more developed than we were because you had Aaron Donald, and you had impact players, and you had a much better offensive line. But you guys kind of built the team similar to the way the New York Giants did. You drafted a franchise running back, then you drafted your franchise quarterback, and then you made a coaching change after his first year. Of course, the Rams situation worked out a hell of a lot better than ours. You guys won 11-5 in Sean McVay's first year. Sean McVay is one of the best coaches in football. But, yeah, once you guys got rid of Fisher, you guys started to turn the corner, LA Lou. Let's see. We got Cruz on, man. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Flowers playing better than Hernandez at guard. Yeah,
bro, when I saw that,
he's right.
Originally, yeah.
He's right. I want to get.
He's kind of right.
I want to give him the full year, like I said, though, and I'm not making excuses. But continuity is a big thing with the offensive line. Hernandez is playing next to a new center and a new left tackle. So I'm trying to be fair and give him the full year. But if Hernandez has not improved by year's end, we've got a problem.
Technically, I will say it is playing devil's advocate. I'm not supporting Flowers. I don't know if I could ever in my life support Eric Flowers. But to play devil's advocate, so is Flowers playing next to a new center and new guard because he was on Washington last year and now he's on the Dolphins.
Flowers has played I don't know how he's playing this year, but last year he was very good with the with Washington. So.
And I want to ask you guys if I could get your answers real quick to this. Who do you put the blame on from the Giants side to never try to, never think to trying this dude out at guard? Because we always only fight him out on tackle. Yeah.
Everybody.
I think the New York Giants were too stubborn. But I will say Flowers, it didn't seem like wanted to be here. It seemed like he was forcing his way off the team. It came out after the fact that he was asking for a trade. He didn't want to be here. He hate playing in New York. But yeah, they should have tried him at the guard. Before they shifted him to right tackle, they should have put him at the guard.
Hey, yo, Chris, man, I gotta commend you, man. You got some funny ass trolls in your chat, man. Like this Elvis Anthony guy is just
Elvis Anthony's been cracking me up all night.
Amazingly hilarious. I love good trolls, man. I love like funny trolls. If you're like a
Elvis Anthony,
this guy is amazing. I want this guy in my stream. Elvis Anthony, I'm begging you, please come subscribe to my channel and come into my live streams on Wednesdays. This guy is hilarious. I love this guy.
Elvis needs to come over to my channel just because of the one time he was like, his wife left me because of him. I'm like, yeah, all right, bro, pull up to my channel, bro. I got you.
He said his wife left him because of this panel.
Yo, pull up, bro. Pull up. I got you.
Yo, that's hilarious. I love it, man. I love it.
Have you ever been with a fat chick says replace Hernandez with a fat chick? Have you ever been with a fat chick says replace Hernandez with a fat chick?
No fat chick. Big brain things, bro. That might be a solution.
Yo, he is a fat chick. He is a fat chick.
But all kidding aside, man. All kidding aside, man. I want to say thank you to all my diehard subscribers, everybody that's here, that's showing all the support that you guys always show me, whether it's watching my videos, going to my live streams. I didn't have an opportunity to say it because we've been caught up in conversation. I've been answering super chats. You guys have been incredible. All the love that you guys always show me, coming to my live streams, even when this team is as bad as it's been, you guys continue to support the channel. I can't say thank you enough. I try to say that as much as I possibly can to show you guys how much I appreciate what you guys mean to my channel. So, and of course, both you guys coming on, man, means the world. I gave you guys very little notice. You guys said I'll pop on Talk Giants tonight, so can't say thank you enough to both of you guys as well.
Of course, man. Anytime.
This is one of my favorite streams I think I've ever done. I'm going to be honest with you. This is one of my favorite streams because, like, listen, what this stream tells me, right, is that we all love this team. Like, there ain't no fakes in this chat right now. Just like there ain't no fakes on this channel. We all love this team, and we're all pissed off. And some of us show it a little differently, right? And unfortunately, as guys who are, I guess, influencers, right? We have to like keep it in perspective. Believe you me, tomorrow, as I'm watching, I'm not going to be on nobody's live stream. Nobody's asked me, and thank God. Because if anyone asks, like, hey, man, will you come live stream this game with me? My response is going to be no, because I am going to be, I almost cursed again. I am going to be messing this house up tomorrow, okay? I am going to be slamming things around. I am going to be so...
Oh, yo, you need to be careful with the Korean around, man.
No, listen. I pay for this damn house, all right? I break whatever I want.
Listen, the Korean and Otis the GOAT run that household. We know that.
Oh, snap. You just gonna put my business out there like that? Dang.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm going to be so angry tomorrow. Yo, best believe y'all might want to watch my Twitter feed. Y'all might want to watch my Twitter feed tomorrow.
Well, hopefully you're not. Hopefully the New York Giants shock us all. But
listen, that'd be great, but it's going to probably be filled with anger.
Yeah, probably.
It's going to probably be filled with anger. It's going to be so bad. I'm just keeping it real.
VH, man, thank you very much. Just Penny Sewell in 2021. Depends where we pick. And I think it also depends on Matt Parrott. It depends on the new GM if we get one, which at this point I think it's trending that way. It depends on what his philosophy is. But yeah, everything you hear about Sewell is he's like this generational tackle and a guy that you can't pass up on, a guy that's better than Andrew Thomas. But I think it depends on Parrott. It depends on what the new GM values is what our biggest need is. Obviously, Jamar Chase is a guy a lot of people talk about. If he's a GM that values bringing in a premium wide receiver to help out the quarterback, and we're not going quarterback, they could go that way as well. But you guys know I'm an offensive line guy. I'm not going to be upset if they feel like Parrott is definitely not a part of the future, and they look at Sewell and they say, we can't pass up on this guy. Then you got two tackles that will help out not just Daniel Jones, but if Jones fails, help out the next quarterback that comes in. Help out Saquon Barkley if and when he ever gets healthy and he's himself. So I wouldn't be upset about it. I mean, our offensive line, look at it. Even with Andrew Thomas, we still look horrible. So I wouldn't be upset with it if they don't feel like Matt Parrott's good enough to be a starter next year. Ramon says, links for Best and Hubs channels. Yes, if one of my moderators could put that, I always ask you guys to do that. I just feel like it's easier so people don't have to go into the description during the live stream. If you guys could post their links, I appreciate it. But if you don't find the link, it's what it says right under their names, the Hub and Pest the Analyst, and you should be able to find them. So, and they do a great job, Ramon. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. New York for Life says, Pest preaching again. The only thing you're influencing is my decision. Influencing is my decision to be a Giants fan. New York for Life says.
I'm not gonna lie, that was a funny super chat.
Hey yo, the offer to come to my live stream on Wednesday and be on cam talking with me about Giants still stands. New York for Life. The question is, will you accept?
There you go. What's going on? I just want to say hello to everybody that I haven't gotten a chance to. Kenny's a great subscriber of mine. Andy Garcia, Salvador, Sabrina, Royal Money, thank you for being here. Scott, Michael, thank you to everybody for being here. Sahid and Pastor Raymond, thank you very much. He says, one of the issues last year with taking DJ at 6 was the expectation is now for him to be a star in year 2. I feel for the kid because we took him in the later rounds. Fans would have had, yeah, Pastor Ray, I completely agree. I think you said that the other day too. I completely agree because it's not just that. Yeah, you came into New York and the fan base has been calling for a quarterback forever. The other thing, and a lot of people in the chat may disagree with me, but I stand by what I believe. It's what I said it last year and I still believe it. I think the fact that you rushed Daniel Jones in too early, in my opinion, even though he looked great in that Tampa Bay game, I think that's the worst thing that happened to him, first off, because I think it set the expectations way too high. You started hearing Danny Dimes, he's going to be the next Peyton Manning, he's incredible, blah, 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 blah. I think that set the expectations way too high, but you had a golden opportunity in a season where the New York Giants weren't going to the playoffs. There weren't high expectations to have him sit and learn under Eli Manning for 8-10 weeks. And had you done that, and he only played 5 or 6 weeks last year, the expectations going into this year for him to be the savior of the franchise aren't nearly as high as they were going in, because he got a full slate of games, 12, 13 games. People saw some good. They saw some bad. He would have had time to get used to this system. The expectations wouldn't have been too high. That's my opinion. People may disagree with it. And I get that it's a microwave league and people want instant gratification. I thought that we had an opportunity to set him up better than what we did. And the supporting cast is not good. So I stand by that. Danny Thomas, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. If I replace the GM, I would replace him with Adam Peters from the Niners. He was a scout for the Broncos and the Patriots. I've seen a bunch of names. I didn't get a chance to watch the full video of Mike Tunice's video, who does a great job as well in the New York Giants. Did you guys get to see that, the GM breakdown video?
I did not know.
I didn't see it yet.
Yeah,
I saw that he did it, but I didn't.
He rolled off a bunch of names. There was a bunch of good ones. I don't remember Peters being there, but I didn't get to see the whole video because I was busy at the time. And I will definitely look more into that as the season wears along. If and when it looks like Gettleman is going to be gone, and then the question will be: are they going to stay within the organization, or are they going to bring somebody in from the outside? But thank you very much. I appreciate it. Dallas Cowboys Hater Nation. He says, just subscribe to your channel. Great stream, and remember, Dallas sucks.
I will always be a fan of somebody whose name is Dallas Cowboys Hater Nation.
Well, Dallas Cowboys, man, I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for being a new subscriber to the channel. Anybody that may not be subscribed, of course, first thing I want you to do is subscribe to these two gentlemen. I want to say thank you again for coming on to the channel. But if you're not subscribed to me, please go ahead. Hit the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Or thumbs down. I don't care. It's the same thing. As long as you guys give me some interaction in the thumbs department, it helps people come into the stream. So I appreciate it.
Either way, like Chris said, before we even started, there was already 9 thumbs down.
Well, that's how you know that
you're doing something right.
people just, for some reason, I don't know. I think most people like me that I run into in real life, but I guess some people don't. It is what it is. You got to realize that when you come on YouTube. Dallas, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. New York Flight says, nah, I'm good. Arguing with a crackhead would be better use of my time.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I'm sorry, Pest. That was funny. I didn't expect
No.
Nah, that was funny.
A good troll. Good troll. I knew you wouldn't show up. So you keep being a guy, nameless, faceless guy, spouting off nonsense. I'll keep doing me.
Simon Z, man, thank you very much. He says, Giants doing the same thing to Ingram as they did with Flowers. He is better suited at wide receiver. He is built like one, not a tight end, and can't block for shit. Yeah, I agree with that, kind of. I think at this point,
I could have said shit. I could have said
yeah,
shit.
once in a while. Once in a while, I should have said poop, I guess. Once in a while, I'll throw that in there.
Listen, Pets, you got to do it in like 15-minute intervals, bro.
But no, I mean, as far as Ingram goes, I don't think he's ever going to be a full-time wide receiver, but I do think that they could use him more on the outside than they have. I'll say that.
I'll say this. It's pretty interesting that he brought that up because I never thought about it that way. We really, in my opinion, like I said, I don't think I could ever defend Eric Flowers. I hate the dude so much because of the way he played for us. But I feel like the Giants coaching staff messed up with not moving him in at guard, seeing how he's playing at guard now. Maybe hindsight's 2020, who knows? And it is making me coming around a little bit on the Evan Ingram at wide receiver thing because I was always like, nah, the reason he's an anomaly is because he is a tight end. If you put him at wide receiver, he'd probably be like an average wide receiver. But I'm starting to come around a little bit more now because it's in the back of my mind that we never tried switching positions with Flowers. Maybe, it's pushing that switching positions with Ingram just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And Salvatore, man, that guy's definitely an Italian. Salvatore Prestigiacomo. I know I didn't pronounce that properly, but Salvatore, man, thank you very much. He says, do you think there's a chance we can contain Aaron Donald to some degree, or do you think we'll be seeing a 5-sack game from him? Thoughts on Freeman tomorrow? I mean, the stats don't indicate it. I actually thought Devontae Freeman ran pretty hard. I mean, he looked like he was putting his head down there. He was fighting for extra yardage up the middle. I was somewhat impressed with Freeman, even though the stats may not show it. He had nothing to work with. They had no blocking. They couldn't get around ground game established. He's not going to be a game breaker. He's a suitable running back that if we could get this offensive line to be average, I think he could be productive. As far as Donald goes, I don't know if he's going to have 5 sacks. What I think the New York Giants need to do in this game, they're not beating him one-on-one. Like I said, he's gonna abuse Gates. They need to do everything. They need to double team him, whatever it takes. You need a fullback in there to help protect your quarterback. You need to roll him out, whatever. get him out of the pocket because Aaron Donald is going to be collapsing it the entire game. That is a huge mismatch that I think is the biggest mismatch in this game. I also think Darius Slayton's going to be shut down on the outside. I think they're going to have to try to use Ingram and maybe Tate in the slot. They're going to have to get creative in this game. It is not going to be easy to move the football.
Aaron Donald is going to get so many sacks that after he's done with the game, he takes shower, changes his clothes, and leaves the stadium. The police are going to be there to arrest him for assault. It's going to be bad. I'm telling you, I'm going to watch this game in a black suit. Okay, it's going to be bad.
Listen. First off, shout out to Victor. He was saying he got to run. Thank you for tuning in, Victor. Thank you to everybody for tuning in, even the funny trolls. And I want to bring up something else. Scott points out how we're going to cover Higbee. I brought up the same thing in my in my preview, in my Giants Rams preview. I feel like people forget that Tyler Higbee exists because I'm like, as good as Blake has been, he's not covering Tyler Higbee. We don't have a linebacker that could cover Tyler Higbee. We don't have a safety right now that could cover Tyler Higbee. And that's,
we've been using Ryan. Yeah. Ryan's been covering the tight ends the last couple of games. Logan Ryan.
And that's really a secondary concern because the primary concern is obviously Donald, who I legitimately don't think we're going to stop. Even if we do stop Aaron Donald, right, on the defensive side, that is, you still got Leonard Floyd come off the edge, who's been doing fairly well in this Rams system. Even if we do stop Aaron Donald and Leonard Floyd, that's not happening. That's just not happening. You gotta get DJ to pass against Jalen Ramsey, which I don't know if DJ can pass against Jalen Ramsey. And even if you do stop Aaron Donald and stop Leonard Floyd and stop Jalen Ramsey, then on the offensive side, right, the Rams offensive side and the Giants defensive side, you got to worry about Robert Woods, who I think is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the entire league against the banged up Giants secondary. You got to worry about Cooper Kupp, Cooper Kupp, he's filling the scoreboard up. He scored a touchdown. Shout out to Chisel Adonis. He's a comedian that I follow on YouTube. That's his jingle for Cooper Kupp. And you got to worry about Tyler Higbee. We ain't got nobody that could cover that tight end right now. So
it's not a good matchup. I'm not going to paint it like it is. We're not going to win probably tomorrow unless everything breaks our way.
Definitely. We're not going to win. Definitely.
Reese Anderson, man, thank you so much, man, for the $1 super chat. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you for being a great supporter. LA Lou says, you're going to hear the name Micah Kaiser. Maybe I didn't Mika Kaiser a lot, he says. Okay.
I'm going to keep it real. I don't know who that is.
Yeah. I didn't do enough research on this game, to be honest with you, because I know we're going to get destroyed. But there you go.
You know me. I do as much research as possible, and obviously every single page I kept scrolling down, I guess sadder and sadder.
Yeah.
Do you know what the Rams offensively are ranked in the rushing game? Because
I'll say this. I know that the Rams, their first two games this year, ran the ball 78 times in their first two contests. The New York Giants for the year have only ran the ball, I think it's about 55 times through our first three games.
Pets, do you want to guess where they rank offensively with rushing the football? No. So the Giants defensively, they're 20th or 21st in rushing defense. The Rams are the third rushing offense in the league right now.
Yeah, because they run the ball a ton. And they use all three running backs.
Yeah.
Have you ever been with a fat chick? Thank you very much. He says, just did a Giant sim on Madden 21. We went 1-15-1. So you played 17 games?
Jesus Christ.
You played 17 games?
Yeah, that's what I'm on. Oh, I didn't even catch that, but 1-15-1? God damn.
But thank you very much. Maybe it's for next year because I think they play 17 games next year.
17 games is indeed next year.
Yeah. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we're going to have to wait another week for the draft next year. Based on this team. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. A backup that's going to kill us. I'm assuming Pack and Record says, listen, man, the Rams are good. I never got why going into the year people were down on the Rams. The only thing I questioned about the Rams was their division because the NFC West is loaded, with the Niners and the Seahawks and everybody else. I never got why everybody was down on the Rams. I still think Sean McVay's one of the top 5 coaches, 6, 7 coaches in the league. You've got Jared Goff, who I think was being overhated. I still think he's a good quarterback. You've got great weapons on the defense. The Rams are good. The Rams are very good. Thank
you so much for bringing that up, Chris, as LA Luke comes in with another chat. I'm just going to say real quick, I was saying the same thing. The Rams last year had a quote-unquote bad year, which was 9-7. They played in the toughest and by far the best division in football. They were going to bounce back. You can't even call it a bounce back because it was 9-7. They were going to improve from what they were last year. I don't know how everybody were really so down on them.
Yeah. And Lou, man, thank you very much. I think it's because everybody was so high on the Cardinals and so on the Seahawks and Niners.
Yeah.
Lou says Kaiser was defensive player of the week 2. Well, there you go. We'll have our eyes on him.
Rams?
Oh. So there you go. Let's see what we got here. We got destroyed. By the way, guys, go ahead and ask your question. I'm going to try to answer as many as I can. We didn't start till like 9. What time did we start? Like 9:05, 9:07?
Yeah, 9:05,
something like
9:07.
that.
So we'll go, if you guys can, to like 11:15. I try to give you guys 2 hours when I do these.
Yeah.
Frank says, Pest using the black suit line. I can't stop laughing.
Listen, it is what it is, y'all. All right. Like, this is not going to be a pretty experience for us. So I hope you have like your favorite meal in front of you and your favorite beverage, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, whatever is your choice. And listen, just go into this game knowing that we're going to be throwing flowers on a coffin when this is all said and done. This is gonna be bad. It's gonna be so bad. It is though.
Ryu says, what did he say? Will the Giants run an RPO offense, and will they try to roll DJ out of the pocket? I mean, I think they should. I mean, you look at Daniel Jones last week. I think they only ran 3 RPOs. He ran for like 45, 49 yards.
They worked last week. They worked really well last week.
Yeah, I see and I think that they should use more play action rollouts. I was complaining about that the first 2 weeks. I think they will. And one thing I'll say, like I said, and again, not making excuses for Garrett, the offense has been very vanilla. But I think you're starting to see him slowly open up the offense. Like last week, you saw 3 RPO calls. You saw the pitch to Ingram where Ingram fumbled it, even though Jones got credited with it. You started to see them get a little bit more creative. I'm hoping we get to see more of that this week and maybe take some more shots down the field.
Wow, that's actually a really good point. Like I never even thought about that. And this is not me making an excuse for Jason Garrett chat. Okay, y'all been on my neck all night, but it does kind of make sense if Jason Garrett is not doing a lot of razzle dazzle because he's like, "Yo, we're not ready to do that yet. Let's just do the basics."
Yeah,
I don't know, but it would make sense. I could see it making sense. Now
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Week 6, week 7. If I don't see them start to open up the offense, that's when I start to really have some doubts.
That's a very good point.
LA Lou, man, thank you very much. He says Kaiser is the inside linebacker who replaced Corey Littleton. I love Corey Littleton. I wanted the Giants to get him. Obviously, it came out that he wanted to stay on the West Coast. I'm glad that you guys don't have him. He's a great coverage linebacker. I was really
if Kaiser's out here getting defensive player of the week, then I'm guessing he's a great replacement.
Yeah, that's why they let him go. They weren't willing to pay him apparently. And almost at 200 likes. I appreciate that, guys. If you haven't done so, please spike that like, hit the thumbs up, join the channel, and please join Pest in the Hub as well. We all wanted Littleton. Littleton's a great coverage linebacker. No under center snaps for Jones. Lord help him against Donald. Nate, I kind of agree with you on that. I'm sure you're going
to. Shotgun all game.
I really hope that I don't want any of however many snaps are going to be played tomorrow. I want 0 of them to have Aaron Donald one-on-one with Nick Gates. They need to double him at the least. I would love for them to triple team him, but guess what? You triple team him, somebody else is going to get open.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
They got to do it. They got to help out Gates as much as they can.
I'm telling you, any snap of the football that Gates is one-on-one with Donald is going to end badly. Whether it's a knockdown, whether it's a quarterback hit, whether it's a sack, whether it's a sack strip fumble, which Donald got last week, something's going to happen. I just don't want him to end up one-on-one on Nick Gates.
Yeah, that's a mismatch waiting to happen. And James, man, I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. I love the stream. I got it up on the big screen and the poop bucket next to me, so I don't miss a thing. Well, there you go, Elvis. I hope you brought toilet paper with you as well.
Remember, man, he said his wife kicked him out or something.
Yeah. With a poop bucket.
Muhammad says,
man.
What's going on, Muhammad? Thanks for popping in. Jason says, any chance you guys think the wide receivers drop in the draft this year because of this year's draft? I don't know if I read that properly.
I'm assuming he's saying that because a lot of people have either opted out or they've gotten injured, kind of like the NFL or something. And I don't watch college football until, I just don't watch college football in general. I start looking at draft stuff and, college prospects around week 10-ish usually. Maybe I do that earlier this year. I hope not. But what I've heard is that a lot of prospects, and I think this is just common sense, a lot of prospects that were going to be high prospects have dropped because they either haven't played or because the weird offseason they're not performing as usual.
Right. Yeah. It's going to be weird.
No. The one thing I will say that I know about next year's draft class, from everything that I've read, it is even richer at the wide receiver position than this past draft. And everything you heard about this past draft was how rich the wide receiver draft
Like, it was the richest in years since like
Yeah.
2014 or something.
So part of me is kind of like, if it's that rich of a class, as much as I would love to have a premium wide receiver, does it make sense to take one in the first round when you could get a really good one probably in the second round?
As long as they double up on wide receiver in this draft somewhere, I'm good because we need it. My God, do we need it?
Yeah, no, we definitely need it. We need a number one option, and getting a number one option will make Slayton better because right now Slayton's getting the number one attention. He's not ready for it. Let's be honest with ourselves. So I think it would definitely help. We definitely need the offensive line to get a lot better as well as a pass rusher on defense. I know our defense is exhausted, but has anyone else noticed Dalvin getting pushed off the line? Blue Collar says. I haven't been calling Dalvin's name a lot. Dalvin Tomlinson.
You haven't been calling his name a lot.
Leo's been great.
Yeah.
Leo's been really good. Dalvin hasn't stood out to me, but it's something I don't know if I've noticed he's been bad. He hasn't. Last year he stood out more. I'll say that.
I mean, of the three interior defensive linemen, I say that Leonard Williams looks the best, with Dexter Lawrence being really, really close, like right on his heels as being the best. And then Tomlinson, it kind of sometimes I see him doing some good stuff, getting off block sheds, filling gaps, and sometimes he's kind of a non-factor. So I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly I don't think Tomlinson's going to be here next year. I could be wrong. I don't think he's going to be here next year.
I hope he is. I mean, I would love to keep him, but I agree with you guys. I haven't really been calling his name much. A kind of an interesting thing here in terms of percentage of the snaps that he's played. Week 1, it was 27. Week 2, 36. And then last week, it was 48. So he's slowly increasing the snaps that he's playing each week.
Tank for Cooper Manning. Well, no, you don't. You mean Arch Manning?
Yeah, Archie Manning, right?
It's Arch Manning.
Cooper Manning. Cooper Manning's the wide receiver who went down 2025. Yeah. I think Arch Manning's the quarterback that you saw the highlights all over Twitter.
Yeah, like I feel like everybody saw those highlights, and I've seen Giants fans even saying, "Forget Trevor, we're getting the next Manning."
Let's get him right now. Let's get him right now. Just put him on the team today.
I've even saw because sometimes in baseball you could draft up for like years ahead, and some they're like, "Yo, let the NFL do that and let the Giants draft up for Arch Manning."
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna call the Rock, right? And when the XFL opens,
Rock.
Then he can come to the XFL, play to the XFL for a couple of months in the spring, and then we can just pull him up because right then his eligibility is done, and he can just come and be a pro.
There you go.
In 2022.
This man pests out here with the complex theories, man.
And Tank for Cooper Manning asked a really good question. Should we hire Adam Gase?
Excuse me?
I'm joking. That was obviously. I'm assuming it's a troll question. Adam Gase may be the worst.
Adam Gase.
We complain about our coach. Adam Gase makes our coaches look like.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you this, bro. Adam Gase went to Enron University. He robbed the Jets, bro.
Adam Gase is horrible. Ramon, thank you very much. He says, I feel bad for Daniel Jones. He has no weapons. Slayton is a 3 on a good team. Tate is old and gets no separation. Ingram is a bust. DJ has to play with a consistent running back, and that line is horrible. Everything that you could ask for a quarterback to have, he really doesn't have. And that's why I always said, that's why I always defended Eli. And I'm not saying that maybe I did. I'll openly admit, because I loved Eli to death. Maybe I did defend Eli a little bit more than I should have at the end. But I put up with so much crap about Eli Manning for 8-9 years. After he won that second Super Bowl, everybody crapped on him from 2013 on. And I always said the same thing that he just said about Daniel Jones. The offensive line was horrible. We had no ground game. The receivers all went down after Victor Cruz got hurt. So obviously we got Beckham in 2014 or 15, whatever. But the offense as a whole was horrible. And it's the same thing for Daniel Jones. There's very little help for the kid in his second year. That's just facts. I mean, great quarterbacks, I won't deny, like all time, not immortal, but elite quarterbacks can overcome that. But your expectations for Daniel Jones shouldn't be that he is an elite quarterback. He doesn't have that skill set. He just doesn't. He could be a good quarterback if you have a team around him to make him successful. Right now, we don't have that team.
Yeah, it sucks for Daniel Jones, man. Like it's a rough go for him because like I really think that he is talented. But I just his supporting cast just ain't stepping up, man. He can't do it by himself, man, because he's not that guy. He's not elite to where he can throw receivers open and make, extend plays with his legs and do all kinds of crazy stuff like a Russell Wilson or an Aaron Rodgers. He's not that caliber of player, and I don't know if he'll ever be that caliber of player. So like when you put him in the situation that he's in right now, man, this is just bad for him, and it sucks. It really does.
Yeah, and that's not bashing Jones. I say it all the time. There's like 3, maybe 4 quarterbacks that are that good that could. I don't even know if anybody could overcome the Giants situation. It's that bad.
Yeah,
but
I was just thinking. I'm like, could Patrick Mahomes overcome what's happening right now?
If there's a handful that I think could possibly. Mahomes is one of them. Wilson's one of them. Aaron Rodgers is one of them, and that's about it. So I mean, there's not many, and Daniel Jones is not on that level, and that's not a knock on Jones. I mean, Matt Ryan's not on that level. Matt Ryan's a very good quarterback. Matt Stafford's not on that level. Dak Prescott's not on that level. So it's very few quarterbacks that can overcome this. And yeah, if the New York Giants feel, that's why I won't discount it. If we have the first pick and the New York Giants feel in their hearts, but they better be right. If Trevor Lawrence is one of those quarterbacks, that he's a Pat Mahomes, that he's an Aaron Rodgers, you can't pass up on that. Yeah, but I'm not rooting for that. I want Daniel Jones to get better over the course of the year because you don't know what Trevor Lawrence is going to be. And if we waste that pick on a quarterback that doesn't help and he struggles because of the situation, well, then you just wasted a pick that could have helped the situation. So That's my take on it. If he is Peyton Manning, if he is Pat Mahomes, you got to do it. But we don't know that yet. I know the scouts love him, but we don't know it yet. Let's see what we got here. Matt Ryan is 10th. Matt Ryan's a great quarterback. I don't put him on the level of Aaron Rodgers. Great quarterback. Pastor Ray, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. He says, I think we can say that our outrage of 2019 was right. Last year I said I forgive Dave Gettleman, but I take it back. Daniel Jones was taken too high with too much expectations. Giants fans were right to get upset. Pastor Ray, listen, I'm a Giants fan at the end of the day, and obviously it would be so easy. Everybody saw my reaction. It had like 800,000 views on compilation videos. It would be so easy for me to come out and say, I told you, I was right. But I'm a Giants fan, okay? I wasn't happy when we made the pick, and it had very little to do with Daniel Jones. It had a lot more to do with the fact that I knew it was a defensive-rich draft, and I knew that we didn't have the team to support Daniel Jones because I knew he wasn't Pat Mahomes, and I knew we weren't there yet. So I could easily say, I told you so, but I'm a Giants fan. I'm hoping it works out. I want to give this kid every chance I can this year to see if it works out. If it doesn't work out and they move on, I can't complain. No, I thought it was the wrong pick. I did.
Here's the thing, Chris, and maybe I'm reading into it wrong. Pest, you give me your thoughts as well. I think a lot of the outrage last year was not only what you said, more so that we passed up on a defensive, absolute defensive player that, Josh Allen turns out to be in Jacksonville right now. But I think part of it is also that a lot of people thought Daniel Jones was absolute trash. And the fact of the matter is, while he's not the absolute best, he's very far from absolute trash. So I don't know if I would even, in your position, say I told you so, because he is better than what people expected him to be, even now. Yeah,
listen, my outrage, like I said, had a lot more to do with the fact that it was the richest defensive draft. My mindset is with drafts a lot of the times, and it's why I wanted to tackle this year, even though, it was definitely a clear need for us, a huge need, that I'm glad that we did it. But it was a tackle-rich draft. All you heard was there were 4 great tackles. They were all going to go in the top 15. It was the first time in like 20 years that it happened, and it was a need of ours. So I said to myself, you got to take a tackle in this draft. You don't know when you're going to be able to have an opportunity to fix such a big problem as the tackle position. And I thought the same thing in 2018. I looked at it. You look at that draft, defense. When you looked at the top elite prospects in that draft, and it was known to be a weak quarterback draft class. We were picking 6th overall, and I said to myself, if you get an opportunity, and I didn't even think Josh Allen was going to be there, to get an elite edge rusher.
Josh Allen was supposed to go to the Raiders.
They took Farrell.
I'm getting flashbacks.
I'm not trying to bash Daniel Jones. I'm not. I want him to succeed. I like Daniel Jones. Like you said, he has shown me some things where I think he could be good, and I want to give him as fair of an opportunity as I can. But yeah, I don't think it was the right pick. I don't, but it has very little to do with Daniel Jones. It has a lot more to do with the strength of the draft, and it has a lot more to do with the fact that I don't think we had the team situated to help Daniel Jones, to get the most out of him. So that's my take on it. But I'm not going to bash him. I'm going to root for him. I'm going to hope that he gets better week in and week out.
Pretty much.
Demon Man, thank you so much. He says, yo, guys, who do you think will fall on the sword for this season? DJ doesn't have the team. Joe J is doing the best he can. The O-line is in shambles, and the D can't stop anything. So who? Simple. Dave Gettleman.
It's got to be Gettleman. It's got to be Gettleman.
Before the season began, I think we all, that means the panel and even the chat, I think before the season began, we all knew it was going to be Gettleman.
Dave Gettleman, and I say it all the time in my streams. It's a bit of a conspiracy theory of mine. I think the Giants, in my heart, and I like Gettleman. I try to support Gettleman. I try to support the GM as best I can. I like some of the things he tried to do. It hasn't worked out. But my take on Gettleman, I thought that they brought Gettleman back to provide, and my dog's got to shut up. I'm going to go up there in a second.
Oh, that's your dog? I thought that was Otis the GOAT.
I thought that they brought Gettleman back to provide Judge with a buffer. Because what he just said, somebody's going to have to fall on the sword. Well, if they bring in a new GM and a new head coach, who's going to fall on the sword? Are you going to fire a first-year head coach? The fan base is going to be outraged if you win 2 or 3 games. I, in my heart, really believe that they didn't fire Gettleman because they knew that they could put the blame on him at the end of the year if the team struggles and wins 2 or 3 games. That's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong on that. But they had every excuse in the book to start from scratch, bringing a new GM with a new head coach. They didn't do it. But yeah, Gettleman's going to be the fall guy.
It's got to be Gettleman. 100%. It's got to be him.
Elton, man, thank you so much, man, for the $5 donation. He just says, here's $5, man. I appreciate it. Well, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. And Pandemonium says, you guys make no sense. DJ is the best offensive player on a young team. Give him Hill and...
I just want to say, I think he's talking to the chat, not to us.
He might be talking to us because he might... No, I'm not... Again, I don't want anybody to take this as I'm bashing Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones can get the job done. They don't have the team around him to make him get it done. I'm not bashing Daniel Jones. There's 3 quarterbacks that could succeed here. Like I just said, Matt Ryan's not going to succeed here. Matt Stafford's not going to succeed here. These are good quarterbacks. I think Daniel Jones could be a good quarterback. I'm not putting the blame on Daniel Jones. I'm putting the blame on the New York Giants.
Yo, Tom Brady couldn't succeed on his team.
I mean, I don't feel like that's a good comparison, PTA, because Tom Brady
prime Tom Brady.
Let's just go with prime Aaron Rodgers.
Prime Aaron Rodgers he'll make it work here. Prime Aaron Rodgers gets it done with a high school team.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers could do it. Prime Tom Brady ain't getting his team nowhere.
Tana, I feel like you should pull a PTA and let your dog on the stream.
Pastor, man, thank you very much. He says, I don't think people thought he was trash. I think the frustration was where he was picked. Even if Jones was picked at 17, we'd be happy. I think the fact they took him at 6 added more pressure. And the fact that you're overtaking Eli Manning, the guy that's been the quarterback here for 15 years. And I think a lot of Giants fans took that for granted. You know what I'm saying? Like, every Sunday that you woke up, you knew who your quarterback was going to be. Look at all the other teams around the league. How many teams had that? Maybe 7, 8? Tom Brady, Eli Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre to Rodgers, the Colts with Peyton to Luck, even though Luck retired this year, or last year rather. But there's not that many. Rivers with the Chargers, Ben with the Steelers. But not every team had that. You look at all these teams; they've had revolving doors at quarterbacks, and I think people just expect, and they should. If you take a quarterback at 6 overall, they expect it to work. They expect him to be the franchise quarterback, and it added a lot of pressure on him because he wasn't. And I'm not trying to bash him. He wasn't that elite talent. Eli Manning, as much as people might not remember, when he first came into the league, Eli Manning made a lot of mistakes. Eli Manning had elite talent. Eli Manning had a rocket for an arm. He was a very smart quarterback in terms of audibles and things like that, reading defenses up at the line of scrimmage. Eli Manning was an elite prospect. Daniel Jones was not as advanced as Eli Manning. There's a reason Eli Manning went first overall, and there's a reason why most people felt that Daniel Jones should be a late first, early second round pick. So
I don't think we get him if we wait till 17.
No, we probably don't.
Because Redskins would have probably grabbed him as opposed to Dwayne Haskins, and we'd probably figure out a way to get Dwayne Haskins on his team.
I feel like for some reason we might have taken Drew Lock, but that's just getting into like talking about hypotheticals at this point. Yeah.
Maybe.
Ramon, man, thank you very much. He says, I say tank for Jamar Chase and then the second round he wants Terry. Jamar Chase is a very popular name that a lot of New York Giants fans have talked about. Listen, if we're picking at 4 or 5 and the new GM or Gettleman, if he's still here, which I don't think he will be, feels like that's what they need to open up this offense, I'd understand it. I mean, a great wide receiver would help, but it wouldn't be my first choice because of how rich the wide receiver class is and because I think you could address defense, which is obviously a huge need. And if there's an elite tackle there like Sewell, who probably wouldn't be there at 4 or 5, but I wouldn't cry about it. I'll say that. It's definitely a big need for the New York Giants.
I'm going defense with the first pick. Even though, like I said, the defense is playing better now, I'm taking the best middle linebacker available or the best pass rusher available. And then in the second round, I would be happy with looking wide receiver or center or something, which both of them could be found in the later rounds. It's just been shown in the NFL that they could be found in later rounds. And like you brought up, rich wide receiver draft. So why not?
Yeah, I'm going defense as well. Like I think I'm trying to either find an edge rusher, whoever the best edge rusher is, or I'm picking the best linebacker, pair him up with Blake Martinez, and I'm going for like wide receiver, center. So I'm going for some of those things a little later on.
Yeah. Pastor Ray, man, thank you again, man, for all the incredible generosity tonight, man. I really appreciate it. He says, I think the real issue is our GM and owner. I agree with that at this point. And I tried to defend Gettleman as much as I could because I thought that he much like Jones, I thought he was set up for failure. I thought he inherited a horrible situation, and I tried to give him every opportunity that I could. I can't defend him anymore. I can't. At the end of the day, the NFL is a results business. It's been 3 years. So
I'm done. I'm done
Guys,
defending.
let's move on from talking about the draft, man. It's not April yet.
I'm done. That's okay. Fine. No draft. I'm done with Dave Gettleman. I'm done with several people on this Giants squad in terms of people that I cannot defend anymore. Dave Gettleman is one. Evan Ingram is the other one. Though I cannot defend them anymore. Like,
yeah, we tried. We tried our best. We tried our best.
I can't defend these people anymore.
What are we doing with Evan Ingram, bro? Are we not shopping offers right now?
I'm trading him.
Well, here's the day.
Tomorrow before the game.
And I have no problem trading Evan Ingram. I've been making videos for a year about potentially trading, but the trade has to be there. I can't force a trade and get nothing for him.
Chris, I'm gonna be honest with you. At this point, I'd be willing to get like a 3rd round pick for him, bro.
It has to be at least a 3rd. Yeah, I'm not getting a 4th for him. I'd rather hold on to him on a cheap extension on the rookie contract for if it's a 4th. It's got to be at least a 3rd.
Speaking of Jason Garrett, since this kind of connects, why do you guys think he hasn't used Caden Smith more than Evan Ingram so far?
I'd like to see more Caden Smith in the offense. I would.
Maybe he's being told to. Maybe he's being told to use Ingram. Maybe he's being told to give Ingram every chance we can so we can figure out what we're going to do with him before the deadline. Who knows?
And
I'm trading Evan Ingram last week.
What about Sterling Shepard, who's now been
this is the problem with Shepard. And I would trade him. The guy's injury riddled. That was another horrible job by Gettleman. Should not have extended Shepard. That was a bad contract extension. It just was. The guy's making $10-11 million a year. He's got an $11 million dead cap it next year, so you can't get rid of him. I don't see why any team trades for Sterling Shepard. The guy's injured. Yeah. The guy's always banged up. The guy's making too much money. I don't think he has any trade value. The only guys on this team who have any trade value that the New York Giants, obviously Dexter Lawrence has trade value, but you're not trading him.
No,
the only guys on this team,
I'll drive to MetLife. I will drive to MetLife and get rid of Dexter Lawrence. I would get in my car right now. I would drive the 7 hours it'll take me to get to MetLife. I'll do it.
The only guys on this team that have trade value that you would potentially trade are Leonard Williams and Evan Ingram. Dalvin Tomlinson doesn't have that much trade value. He's a nose tackle. I don't think anybody's given up more than a 5th. We saw what we got for Snacks Harrison. So the guys that maybe could get you a 3rd are Leonard Williams and Evan Ingram that are tradable. And I think that both of them could potentially be traded at the deadline. But the thing is, if Gettleman's still the GM, which he will be, I don't think he'll trade Leonard Williams because he's the guy that, he brought him in. But
where do you stand on Jabril Peppers now? In my preview, I said Jabril Peppers is slowly becoming like his counterpart Evan Ingram in that he just can't stay healthy and stay on the field.
Jabril Peppers is a lot like Evan Ingram, both in that aspect and in the aspect that he doesn't really have a set position.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Jabril Peppers, he's been disappointing. He's been disappointing since he came over here. We thought he's going to fit this scheme very well. He's now hurt for the 2nd year in a row, and he wasn't playing good before he got hurt. He was missing tackles. Jabril Peppers has been one of the most disappointing players on the team this year.
I don't know who said it, but somebody was like, "Oh, we could have had kept Landon Collins, and we got Jabril Peppers instead." And I'm like, "Yo, they're the same player.
They're literally the same.
They're the same player. No harm, no foul. We got the same player."
Peppers is arguably better in coverage.
When I watch Jabril Peppers, I think of Landon Collins, and they're both constantly hurt, and they're both taking bad angles. Okay, and they both make a couple of plays that made me go, "Damn, that was nice." Like they're the same player. So like I don't know how, man. Like we can't get any value for quite a few people on this team, man. But
it's tough.
If I'm first of all, I really don't want Dave Gettleman doing anything with trades right now. Like I don't want I don't want Dave Gettleman to be involved with any kind of trades. Okay.
Yeah,
it seems like every time this guy does a trade, it's either it's one of those things where we have to go, okay, it kind of makes sense, but why? Or it's one of those things where it's like, yo, what is Dave Gettleman doing right now? Like, somebody get the phone out of that man's hand. Like,
yo, low key, all this safety talk, all it makes me think right now is that I'm so angry that McKinney got injured because I have so much faith in him. I have so much faith that McKinney can be a stud, but we never know at this point.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah, we'll see him probably the last 6 games. Me, Church, man, thank you very much. DJ should have won a Super Bowl on the 1990 and would have. I'm sorry, not should have. Would have won a Super Bowl in the 1990 and 2007 Giants. We'll never know. That's a hypothetical.
That's like a very out there hypothetical.
Because to me,
I think he's saying that Daniel Jones is good enough to win a Super Bowl.
Well, Eli Manning, I think what he's implying, Hostetler won in 90. He was a backup quarterback, and Eli Manning was not a very good quarterback until such time the playoffs hit. But in those playoffs, he played great. I don't know. That's a very tough hypothetical. Eli Manning, for as bad as
Elvis Gerbach won a championship once. I mean, like anybody can win a championship. Anybody can win a championship if the team is hot at the right time and playing well.
And hot at the right time probably defines the 2007 Giants.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that anyone can win a Super Bowl because the chat seems to take things I say.
The thing I'll say is this though, Eli Manning he made plays. I mean, he made plays that year in the regular season too. He was a boneheaded quarterback, but he made plays. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if Daniel Jones would have won that Super Bowl in 2007. And Eli Manning was not a great quarterback. He played great in the playoffs, though.
Is Daniel Jones a guy that's gonna win in the fourth quarter like Eli always did? Like, is Daniel Jones gonna be a guy that's clutch like Eli was on those Super Bowl runs? I don't know. I don't know because he don't seem like it right now.
I just want to say to maybe put some people's minds at ease with DJ in 2007. Eli Manning had a game where he threw 5 picks, I think.
Minnesota Vikings.
In the end. Yeah, so, I mean, chill out on DJ a little bit.
Eli Manning struggled. Manning struggled. Pandemonium, man, thank you very much. He says,
don't just bust up in here.
We're going to get into the Rodgers talk here. Rodgers has won Super Bowl in 15 years. How good is he really? I'm the wrong guy to talk to when you ask that question because I think Aaron Rodgers is one of the most talented quarterbacks, maybe one of the top 2 or 3 most talented quarterbacks who's ever lived. Aaron Rodgers got set up. We're talking about Daniel Jones getting set up horribly. Aaron Rodgers got set up horribly. He just overcame it, and he kept the team competitive every year because he's that great. He had a wide receiver playing running back for 2 years. Ty Montgomery was his running back for 2 years. Aaron Rodgers has never thrown a touchdown to a first-round wide receiver in his entire career. We're complaining about the Giants not getting Daniel Jones weapons. The Packers have never drafted a first-round wide receiver since Aaron Rodgers has been the quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, to me, it is a travesty that he only has 1 Super Bowl. And it is a big reason why I didn't want Mike McCarthy to be the New York Giants head coach because he should have won more.
Right.
All I'm going to say is you've spoken pure facts. There's nothing I could add on to that. Aaron Rodgers is literally, until Patrick Mahomes came along, and even still now, the most talented quarterback we've ever seen in the NFL. For sure, Hall of Famer. And had it been that Green Bay had a little bit of a sense during like the past 10 years, he would have had probably 3 Super Bowls.
No, I'm not going to say that Aaron Rodgers didn't choke some away. They went 15-1 the year that we knocked them over for our 2nd Super Bowl. We had no business beating that football team. So I'm not going to say Aaron Rodgers didn't lose some games he shouldn't have lost, but yes, Aaron Rodgers is a phenomenal quarterback. 100%. Air Force, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. He says, stand up. Our team just isn't good. We lack talent, and our best players are injured. Air Force, man, first off, man, thank you so much for all the support you always show on my channel. Thank you for being here. And yeah, I mean, you're preaching to the choir, man. Our team is not that good. It's worse than not that good. We're bad. And the new scheme and the injuries that definitely aren't helping it. Mr. Hand Glider, man, my man. I always try to shout him out whenever I see him. Mr. Hand Glider, man, has been with my channel before I had triple-digit subscribers. 50 subs. And I remember his first comment he ever gave me on my video. He said, he said something like, "You're awesome. You're going to blow up." And I always remember that comment. I always try to shout him out whenever I can. He always pushed me to do better. So I want to say thank you, Mr. Hand Glider, man. He says, great stream. There were many great quarterbacks that didn't have the off the charts traits of Mahomes and Rodgers. Yeah. Mr. Handglider Man, I'm not telling you can't be great. I'm just telling you right now we don't have the situation for him to be great. Tom Brady doesn't have, and Tom Brady's the greatest ever before people in the chat go crazy. The guy's got 6 Super Bowl rings. But Tom Brady didn't have skills that made your jaw drop. Tom Brady had a great team around him with the New England Patriots, and he had a lot to do with it. He took a discount so other players could stay on the team, and he made plays when they needed to be made. But Daniel Jones does not have the support system right now to be a great quarterback. He just doesn't. And like I said, there's very few that I think could overcome this right now.
Pest, do you have anything to say to that real quick?
No.
All right. I want you to get to
ahead.
the very next super chat, Chris, because this is a topic that I really want to get into.
Flawless says team was screwed when they tried to win.
Oh, damn, that's the next.
rebuild.
My bad. I'm at the next.
All right,
Oh,
I'll get to one after that.
Yeah.
In terms of that, Flawless, and we could speculate all we want who's responsible for that. Everybody's got their own opinion. Some will say it's the owner. Some will say it's Gettleman that decided to take Saquon Barkley and decided not to start the rebuild in 2018 and start with Eli Manning. We'll never know. It doesn't matter. It was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
It was a mistake not to start the rebuild in 2018. We didn't start the rebuild in 2019. And, we got to move on and hope that this rebuild, we start rebuilding a lot faster, hopefully by 2021. But, yeah, I'm with you. We should be a year further into this rebuild. I agree. But we're not, and I can't tell you who's to blame. That's speculation. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. And let's see what we got here. There's the next one. Pastor Ray says, is there a chance Dave Gettleman is fired in season? Was that the one you wanted, Hub?
No, but that's a good one as well. Pastor Ray had one after that. I guess I missed that one. But this we could get into this if you want as well.
Go ahead.
So in season, nah, I don't know. I don't think the Giants roll like that. It would depends. Like if we're like at week 10 or something and we're 0-10, maybe. Because that's like just simply unheard of. Like at that point, you're really talking 0-16 type of season. But nah, I don't think so. I don't think the Giants ownership rolls that way.
Go ahead.
When did we fire Jerry Reese?
After the season, was it not? No. Was it in season actually?
I'm pretty sure that was in season.
I just realized
it was in season because Ben McAdoo got fired, and then defensive coordinator
Spagnuolo was the interim
head coach.
I forgot about that.
Gettleman's ass.
I forgot about.
To be fair, that probably had to do with the Eli Manning thing, right?
Yeah. To be fair, also Jerry Reese was a bad GM for years on end at that point, more longer than Gettleman was.
That team was terrible for multiple years with the same staff. Okay, and I know that this is a different staff, but there's a common denominator here, and it's Dave Gettleman. And I don't.
Listen. I don't expect it.
I don't ever call for people's jobs. I'm not that guy to call from someone's job and say anyone should be fired out. I want us to all get this money and feed our family. But I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. And I will not come on I will not go on YouTube and support this man if it happens. I would be like, yeah, that's kind of what was supposed to happen. He was bad. He was bad at what he was doing. That's what's supposed to happen.
But I'm so surprised that slipped my mind. Jerry Reese was fired in season. I forgot about that.
I don't expect it to happen in season. Anything's possible. It could. If they don't do it before the trade deadline, I honestly don't really see why you would do it. What's the point of bringing in an interim GM? Unless the guy, if they're going to bring in Abrams, if Abrams is the plan and they're going to make him the GM and they're going to hire in-house, maybe then you do it.
Please don't hire in-house.
Yeah, I'm just saying if that's the plan, maybe then you do it. But if you're gonna bring in somebody from the outside, I don't really see the point unless you're gonna do it before the trade deadline and you're worried about him trading players that are gonna hurt the future of this team. I don't think they'll do it in season.
Pest, what's your problem with in-house?
It's all we've been doing. We need somebody. We need some fresh eyes in here. I know that Gettleman was technically an outside hire, but he's been part of this organization forever, okay? We need somebody new. We need some fresh ideas. We need some fresh thoughts in here.
I saw a tweet that said in the 70s when the Giants were bad, I think it was Bill Parcells. It was a quote from Bill Parcells. Once again, I'm remembering here. My memory's failing me. He was like, when you have a group of people that don't disagree with each other and that all think the same, they're not actually thinking. And the tweet was using that quote and saying that that's what's happening with the Giants right now. They're not thinking.
I saw that today as well.
They legitimately need somebody from outside to come in and think differently.
I say that about YouTube. I say that about my channel all the time. People say, sometimes people come in, Roldy, one of my best subscribers, he'll come in and he'll say, Chris, I don't agree with you a lot of the time. I said, that's good. You want to think different ways. If you're not thinking different ways, you're not thinking. So,
Yeah.
so that's a great quote that they talked about today with the New York Giants.
100%.
Pastor Ray, man, thank you very much. And I'm assuming this is the super chat you
This
want
is
to
the
talk
one.
about.
I think so. Yeah.
He says, have you guys been paying attention to Josh Allen? The guy has sky-high potential, the way he can extend plays and has an improved deep ball. Ray Pittman, I don't know how long you've been watching my channel, and I don't talk broad NFL that often. I did make a video before the year started of which quarterbacks that I thought were going to be the most likely to break out, and it's not just this year. I talked about it last year. People asked me who's going to be next year's Lamar Jackson. I'm not telling you to go back and look at the streams, but I said Josh Allen. Josh Allen's skill set is we always knew the accuracy was a big question mark. But you saw him start to get better last year. He only threw 2 picks over his last 11 games. He definitely struggled in that playoff game. But then you went out, you got him a wide receiver with Stephon Diggs. That offensive line that you spent a boatload of money on the year before had another year of continuity. The golden year with the New York Giants offensive line. They were patient. They fixed the line for him. And now you're seeing it pay dividends. Josh Allen has a rocket for an arm. To me, he's kind of like Cam Newton. I'm not going to say he's that good yet, but he's that type of quarterback. He can make plays with his legs. He's a big-bodied quarterback. He's got a rocket for an arm. I think Josh Allen, sky's the limit. I think he could be one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league. That's how good I think he could potentially be. But I'll get your guys' takes on that.
Pess, I'll let you go first.
I don't. How long has it been? 15, 20. Okay, cool. I don't give a shit about Josh Allen. I don't care about Josh Allen. Yeah, he looks good. Whatever. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Pastor
Ray Pittman.
Pastor Ray. I'm sorry, Pastor Ray. I know you paid some money to hear the answer to that question, but I don't care about Josh Allen. I mean, like, yes,
that's fair.
He does look good.
I'm guessing that his point is he looks at Josh Allen as the type of quarterback that could elevate the play of a team because of his
I wouldn't
physical.
say that yet because
I don't know. I mean, he's got good weapons around him.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I wouldn't say that yet because of the points you brought up, Chris. The Bills built around Josh Allen perfectly. They already had an established defense that would, as years went on and they got more continuity, became the best defense in the NFL. Like last year, you know, other than them, it was the Patriots. And then this year, once again, they're one of the best, if not still the best defense in the NFL. The Bills defense, that is, and all they needed to do was work on the offensive side. They gave him an offensive line in 2019. They got another year of continuity. They're even better now, and they gave him some more weapons in 2020. And along those times, over the course of 3 years, he's improved as a player and developed. Like Josh Allen was an experimental quarterback when they took him. Everybody knew that. And so far, it's an experiment that worked out because they put in all the ingredients that needs to be put in.
Yeah. And he has a very high ceiling, and you're starting to see it pay dividends. The Bills did it perfectly. You know, they did it perfectly.
I do feel like if we were to build around Daniel Jones like that, he could potentially be pretty good. The problem is that one, are we even going to get the opportunity to do that? Probably not. And two, how long will it take to do that? Because it's not something that can happen overnight. It's just
that's the thing. Because Daniel Jones is going to be on the 3rd year of his rookie deal next year, and you're already started. And if we're not going to be nearly as advanced as the Bills are in Josh Allen's 3rd year, they made the playoffs last year. They have a great defense as well. So by the time you get to where you're going to have a cast good enough, it's at least his 4th year, and then you're talking already he's at the end of his rookie deal. So
I just want to say Allen was not good his first 2 years either, and the Bills still stuck with him, and now he's good, potentially elite this year.
He's, in my opinion, he's top 4 for MVP so far. Obviously, we're only 3 weeks into the season. JB, man, thank you very much. He says the Hog Molly approach is outdated. We need talent. Well, I mean,
does he mean talent elsewhere?
I'm assuming, but you still need talent on the offensive line. I don't think that's ever going to be outdated. We need wide receivers too. But the biggest, at least in my opinion, the biggest reason why we can't run has to do with the fact that we can't block. We had you want to talk about talent, JB? We had the most talented running back in football. And if he wasn't the most talented, even if you're the biggest Saquon hater and you hate that he's here, he's one of the top 5 most talented running backs in all football. Yeah. He couldn't run. You need to be able to block, so you need talent everywhere. You need talent on the offensive line. We need talent at the wide. We need talent, period. But I don't think the Hog Molly approach is outdated. I just don't think he executed on the Hog Molly approach. He missed on the Hog Mollies that he brought in. Nate Solder was an epic fail. Will Hernandez, to this point, has been a fail. he failed in the players that he brought in. I don't necessarily disagree with the approach he took. The players just didn't work out.
Which is sad because that's exactly what happened with Jerry Reese. Jerry Reese did bring in offensive linemen. It was just that they were bad offensive linemen.
They were just bad.
Yeah.
They're just absolutely bad.
Let's see what we got here. Giant Opinion Sportsman, thank you very much. He's got a channel too, by the way. He's got new content up over there. He says Lawrence gets 16 games, then on to the next. LOL. Oh, you're talking about you're talking about if we draft a new quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. If
we're gonna be the Cleveland Browns, we're gonna draft a quarterback every damn year. Is that what we're gonna do?
I'll tell you what, man. You could you imagine? And hopefully, if we go that route, and I'm not rooting for it, I want Daniel Jones to be the guy. But if we go that route, could you imagine the pressure on Trevor Lawrence?
Chris, I'm going to tell you this. If we go that route and we get Trevor Lawrence and he inevitably fails because there's nothing around him, people are going to come down on him probably harder than they did on Daniel Jones.
Yeah. Because you didn't give Daniel Jones a fair shake, and then you got rid of him, and then you brought in the guy who's supposed to be the savior of the franchise. And if he doesn't work the first year with a team that's still not that good, that's not equipped to help support a rookie quarterback, I don't want to hear bitching. For all the people that are saying thank for Trevor Lawrence, if the team wins 5 games with Trevor Lawrence the first year, 4 games, the offense looks like it's struggling a bit because we didn't use that pick to try to address the problems that we have on this team to try to help out the quarterback that we already had. You better be patient. You better give Trevor Lawrence 2 years before you start coming down on him.
You better be capping for Trevor Lawrence hard. Y'all better be in there talking about he's the GOAT. Don't worry, I know he's gonna be the GOAT. Y'all better.
People are doing that right now, bro.
Until the bottom falls out.
People are capping for him right now. I've seen comments in this live stream, bro.
If that happens, and we like Chris is saying, if that happens and we get him, and this team still sucks, y'all better cap until the bottom fall out for him. Y'all better not ever switch your opinion about him and go, oh, he sucks. Didn't you say you want him? Yeah, but he sucks now. No, we got to build around. Football is the only sport, aside from soccer, my wife tells me, I don't know, I don't pay attention to damn soccer. Football is the only sport where when you're on the field, it requires all 11 people to do their jobs. All 11. And there are small, itty-bitty, tiny little instances where man 11 and man 10 can mess up and we can still be successful. But this requires all 11 people to do their job. One person is not going to make this team better or worse. All right.
He could if he's Aaron Rodgers, but that's asking a lot. And the other thing I'll say, there is not. The quarterback is the most. Let me preface this by saying the quarterback is the most important position on a football team. But by the same token, there is no position on a football team that relies more on his surrounding talent than the quarterback position.
Right.
So if the surrounding talent doesn't improve, you're asking Trevor Lawrence to shoulder a lot of the load. And you're setting him up the same way you set up Daniel Jones. And if he's elite, maybe he can overcome it. But if he's not, you better be able to wait. You can't flip quarterbacks every year because now you're going to be paying him. If you draft him first overall, you're going to be paying him like $8 million year one as a rookie. It's just a disaster if he doesn't work out, and he better work out if we decide to go that route, which is why I'm hoping that Daniel Jones progresses and we could say he could be the franchise quarterback. Pastor Ray, man, thank you very much. He says, the problem with Gettleman and Hogmalley is that he's obsessed with defensive tackles and doesn't value pass rushers. Hogmallers are good, though, in general. Yeah, I agree. He didn't bring in any elite pass rushers. I think that's a fair criticism. Lorenzo Carter was a third-round pick. O'Shane Zimenez was a third-round pick. He passed up on taking a guy like Montez Sweat, for example, even though I love Dexter Lawrence. As an edge rusher, he passed up on Josh Allen for Daniel Jones. He had opportunities to take edge rushers early in the draft. He had opportunities to try to sign one in free agency. He hasn't done it. I think it is a fair criticism. I'll say that. Even though some of the players that I just mentioned are good players. Pandemonium, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. DJ is having curry goat for dinner.
I think he needs Rams tomorrow night. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's saying DJ's about to cook up these rings. Listen, I'm all for it. I want to go in tomorrow, and I want to see the Giants win a game, even if it's by like 1 point in double overtime. I want to see it.
Win, I'm losing my mind.
If we beat the Rams, I don't care.
It would be lit.
Well, there's no such thing as double overtime. It's sudden death. But if we beat the Rams, I would take a tie against the Rams. Are you kidding me?
Lit.
Obviously, I want to win, but Pastor Ray, man, thank you very much. He says, But Lawrence coming in is expected to be the generational talent. Jones was never that because of being overdrafted. He was given too high. I agree. Jones was given too high of expectations. I agree. And we didn't have the
I
team to
feel
support
like,
him.
Chris, I don't mean to sound pushy or anything, but I feel like we've been going in circles with this DJ and Lawrence talk for the past hour.
We have. But that's what people want to talk about right now because unfortunately, that's where we are as an organization right now. And until such time.
That's where we are as an organization, and I'm sorry to those who are going to hate that statement, but it's dumb to talk about this right now. It's dumb to talk about it right now. Yeah, we still don't know where we're drafted. All right, the Jets are terrible.
Now, in fairness, I can't believe I'm saying this. We might be worse than the Jets.
No, I don't think we can be. These guys are terrible. Their head coach is terrible. All right. So y'all talking all this tank for Trevor stuff, and then the Jets have a worse season. And what's next? You guys want to complain because we win a game? Like that's what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna be mad because we win? Like, come on. It's too early to talk about this. Let's talk about who on our team should be here next year. Okay.
You know who we should be using right now? We should be using more Marcus Golden.
He hasn't played at all. Neither has O'Shane Ximines.
No. Here's the thing. O'Shane Ximines is the one that's been getting snaps over Marcus Golden. And I never liked the fact that since the depth chart was announced, now I think I might have been one of the people who wasn't that big of a supporter of Ximines and everybody else. I was a supporter of him because he's a Giant, and I was always support him until the day he's not a Giant. But I feel like it was a mistake to not give Marcus Golden the snaps that he deservedly earned last year and that he showed when there was no other pass rushing threat on this team last year except for Marcus Golden, in my opinion. And even then, you could say that was a bit of a stretch. But I think Marcus Golden earned his spot and proved that he could be a legitimate pass rusher last year. Not a great one, just a legitimate one. And it's a disservice that the dude is playing rotational player snaps this year. And that's why he's not having an impact, because he's not getting the same snaps.
The other thing I was thinking about as you were talking about Marcus Golden that makes a lot of sense and why we should probably give him more snaps right now, we were talking about players that are potentially tradable. And you're not going to get a ton for Marcus Golden, but if he goes out there and proves that he could get a few sacks, the guy's on a team-friendly contract. He's probably not going to be here next year anyway. He's on a one-year deal. He's a tradable player. So, yeah, I think he should be playing more because if he could go out there and get a few sacks, maybe he opens some eyes to some teams. Maybe you do get a fourth-round pick for him. So, yeah, it's a good point that you bring up about Marcus Golden. Sacred Dust, man, thank you very much. People forget any quarterback would struggle in DJ's situation. I agree. Any quarterback would be a much worse quarterback than they are in most situations on the New York Giants. That I could definitively say. So, yes. Riley Shepard, man, thank you very much. I think it's stupid to talk about Trevor. I think it's too early. I agree. And Jace Young says Golden is a product of James Betcher's system, though.
Here's my rebuttal to that real quick, because I don't know about you, Tatum, but I've been a big Marcus Golden fan and like one of his biggest defenders since last year when my channel started. I respectfully disagree with that because I think it is coincidence. He came off of an ACL injury, which in any sport usually takes 2 years before you get back to what you were before the injury. It just so happened that second year he got back was with James Betcher. And I think not a lot, but a good amount of his sacks and pressures last year, Golden had a lot of pressures last year, did not come off of blitzes. So that's why I would say he's not a product of James Betcher's scheme.
Here's what I'll say about Marcus Golden. I was very outspoken that I didn't want him back. You know, when I thought that he was going to come back on the deal that I thought that he earned. When I thought he was going to get a 3-year, $27 million deal, I didn't want him back because I do think that he at least benefited from James Betcher's scheme. But at this point, why not give him an opportunity? The guy proved that he could at least get after the quarterback. And like I said, he's a guy that you could potentially trade. And right now, that's kind of what we should be thinking about if we don't think we should be thinking about next year. And part of what is about next year is trying to accumulate as many draft assets as you can. And if you know Marcus Golden is more than likely not going to be on the team next year, being that he's on a 1-year deal, why not give him a little more extra playing time to see if he could try it, by week 7, I think is the trade deadline. Why not put him out there? Maybe he gets 3 sacks over the next 4 games. Maybe he opens up some eyes. Maybe he gets something for him. Like I said, he's not making anything. And if he could prove that he's at least an adequate pass rusher, there's always teams that are out there that could use it. Will he be successful? I don't know. I don't know how well he fits the scheme, but I think he should be getting more snaps than he is. I'll say that. You don't see him out on the field at all.
I mean, it's Marcus Golden is just such a weird situation because like he had a good season, and then nobody wanted to pick him up. Like we we got this dude on a weird ass technicality. So the question is that if nobody wanted to sign him because they thought it was going to be too much money, is anybody really?
Pass, here's where I'm gonna come back at you. We don't know why they didn't want to sign him, so I'm not gonna go out there and say it was because of too much money. It could have very well been because of COVID, and they can't really check him out physically as well as they would have wanted to check.
That
him
was
out
my
physically.
Thought process too. That was a possibility.
It's a
We don't know
yeah.
because he did have an extensive injury history, and maybe they felt like because he had 2 major injuries with the Arizona Cardinals, and maybe they felt like because they couldn't see if he would pass physical for them, they didn't want to take that gamble.
So then we think that somebody is willing to pick up a phone and hear about trading for Marcus Golden.
Probably not. Probably not. And maybe you could include him in a trade, but you're not going to get much. I don't know.
I just want to say, completely off topic, but I see the chat talking about Andrew Thomas, bust versus stud type of thing. If you guys want to get into that next, all I'm gonna say is that this man went up against 3 of the top defenses in the NFL, and he's still a very good offensive lineman to me.
Andrew Thomas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody asked about that earlier. I meant to get to that. Listen, again, anybody that's coming to a conclusive, any kind of conclusion right now on Andrew Thomas, way too early to be talking about that. Way too early to be talking about that. He went up against Watt, who's arguably the best player in football at his position. He went up against the Bears, who got great pass rushers over there, and he went up against the 49ers. And I know that their pass rushers were out, but they have a great defense. So, and he's a rookie. He's a left tackle. It's one of the hardest positions to transition to into the NFL. And I think if the Giants had it their way, he probably would have started at right tackle. They probably would have had Solder start the year on the left side. We'll never know that. Listen, I think Thomas is going to be very good, and I'm not too worried about him. I know that as Giants fans, we have hesitation because Eric Flowers was a complete bust, but Andrew Thomas was a much higher regarded prospect than Eric Flowers ever was coming out of college. I'm not worried about Thomas. I'm not going to tell you he's going to be all world. I can't conclusively say that, but I think he's going to be at worst an average left tackle in the NFL. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe I'll look like a fool. I think he's going to be better than that, but I think at a bare minimum, he's going to be an average left tackle in the NFL. I think he's struggling a little bit to start his career.
You're not going to look like a fool because Andrew Thomas looks fine, in my opinion. Yes, he's gotten beat, all right? But so what? Everyone loses reps. Everyone loses reps, okay? But, it's not like there's just been pressure coming off of Andrew Thomas's side from, Andrew Thomas's man over and over and over again. He's done fine for the situation that he's in right now. The kid's going to be fine. He's going to be fine because he's a baller. He's going to be fine.
Yeah, I believe in Andrew Thomas. Demon Man, thank you very much. He says, let's talk D. The 49ers kicked. That was a big problem. The 49ers did not punt once, but James Bradbury leads in pass defense. What does the defense need to do to get more time of possession for the offense? They looked lost and confused last weekend. Demon, that's been a major problem. Even in the 2 games where I thought the defense exceeded expectations, we were still horrible in that department. We were surrendering 55% of first downs on third down, which was the worst in the league. And last year, I think we were second to worst in the league. That's been a major problem. That's a great question. And what the Giants have seemingly done on third down in a lot of situations, they've kind of taken their foot off the gas pedal. At least in my opinion, in a lot of instances, they don't blitz nearly as much as I thought they would going into the year. As a matter of fact, they were only blitzing 11% of the time. I don't know what that number is now off of last week. And this was a defense that we thought was going to be aggressive. We thought they were going to blitz a lot, but they have some deficiencies. They may feel like they can't blitz because of how bad their second cornerback is. So we may not have the talent, to be honest with you, to get off the field, but I would like to see more aggression on defense. I would like, if they get beat, they get beat. But I would like to see them blitz more and try to make turnovers happen, try to make plays happen on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, I agree. I thought we'd be a little more blitz heavy. It seemed like Patrick Graham was a guy who liked to blitz, and I don't see a whole lot of it. We're terrible on third down. Jeez, we're so bad on third down. What would you say? It was over 50. I think it was like 58.1 last time I looked at it.
I know going into the game last week it was 55, and it might have went up. Yeah,
it's like 58% of third down completion. It's bad, man. But to be fair, our offense has to do a better job of sustaining drives. And I know, right now, we've spent a lot of time crapping all over our offense and saying that we don't have enough talent. But our offense has to stay on the field longer. All right.
Of course, it goes both ways.
When your defense, listen, I've played on teams, right, as a defensive tackle where our offense sucked and it sucked, man. Because by like the middle of the third quarter, you're gassed. You're just like, hey, offense, man, maybe no more 3 and outs, please. can we get a 10-minute drive so we can sit over here, sip some Gatorade for 10 minutes, collect our thoughts, please? So like it's a collaborative effort, man. That's the reason why as the game progressed, the 49ers offense never had to punt because they was just running it down our throats, killing the clock. Defense is tired, can't stop nothing. It's going to take a lot. It really is. It's going to take a lot.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And just to bolden your point, their PTA in the first half of last week's game, the defense was on the field for 20 minutes. Of course, they were gassed by halftime.
but I'm not going to give the defense a full pass though, because the defense was getting burned on third downs on the first drive. They gave up 3 long third down conversions on the first drive. They gave up third down conversions on the second drive. It was a collective effort last week. The defense was really bad. The offense was really bad. And yeah, when the offense isn't helping you, that is what happened at the end of that game. I completely agree with Pest on that. The defense wore down over the course of that game, but they weren't playing great before that.
The reason I'm not giving them a pass is because I can understand being physically gassed. I really hated the fact, and I was annoyed by the fact, and every single video I made since last Sunday, I've managed to bring it up, that they were mentally gassed. I can get you being physically gassed. I want you to be mentally in the game for the entirety of the game, and they were not mentally in that game in the second half.
Well, no, because they were
Kyler Fackrell's missed tackle was embarrassing.
They were getting their asses kicked.
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
They were getting beat up. Listen, everyone's got a plan, so you get punched in the mouth. That's what the saying is, and they were getting beat up. So, like, when you're getting beat up like that, it's just defeating. It's hard to stay mentally in a game like that when you're just getting beat up. And
think about it, us as fans. Think about it, us as fans. It's hard for us as fans when we get beat up to stay mentally engaged in the New York Giants. Rakeem, man, thank you very much. You said we should trade B.J. Hill. He's been playing great. I don't know why you would trade B.J. Hill. Here's my thoughts.
No,
B.J. Hill's not making any money, and you still have him under a cost-effective deal. The whole reason for why I think it could make sense to trade Leo is because Leo is going to be a free agent next year. The same for Dalvin Tomlinson. B.J. Hill, to me, is a guy that could fill in for one of those guys. You're not going to be able to keep
B.J. Hill is going to fill in for them. I feel like people forget 2018. Tana, help me out here. What was B.J. Hill's rookie sack record?
5.5.
For the Giants?
5.5 sacks.
2018, yeah. The dude has potential. I would love to keep him on.
Yeah, well, I don't see any reason to trade him. I see reasons to trade the other guys because you're not going to be able to keep both at the end of the year. But I don't see a reason to trade B.J. Hill. But guys, we're gonna wrap this up in about. We went a little bit later, but we'll go another 10 minutes. I just want to again say thank you to both of you gentlemen for coming on. And if you guys have not done so, please subscribe to both the Hub and both Best the Analyst. I'm sure some of my mods could drop their links in the chat below. I also again want to say thank you to all you guys for being here. I really do appreciate it. All the love you guys always show my channel. Thank you guys. You guys are incredible. Of course, we'll be over on Bad Dogs tomorrow. I may do something in the morning tomorrow. I didn't do my weekly picks, so I may do a weekly picks tomorrow morning since the Giants don't play till 4. May go live at 11. Talk about that, but I haven't decided yet. Should we trade Saquon Barkley? I get this question every single stream. No, because you're not gonna get anything for him.
I was getting ready to say, are we gonna? What are you trying to get? What are you trying to get? Because we're not going to get a first. We're not going to get a second.
The guy's got an ACL tear.
I'm sorry. Didn't Leonard Fournette get cut? Wasn't he supposed to be like a gangster? He got cut. Nobody wanted to trade for him. All right.
Everybody was saying Leonard Fournette was going to be like the next Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
If I called up a GM and he's like, yeah, I'll give you a first round pick for Saquon Barkley, and in the mid first round, I'd have to think about it. But you're not getting that. You're not getting that. You're not getting anywhere near that. And you also got to factor in that teams are going to know that they're going to have to pay Saquon Barkley $20 million if he proves he's healthy. And teams aren't stupid. They don't value – not to say that – I'm not trying to say the Giants are stupid. Saquon Barkley's an immense talent. But teams don't value the running back that highly. They don't want to pay a running back that much. So there's a lot going against the team looking to acquire Saquon Barkley. I think when we drafted him as highly as we did, we're probably committed to him unless we don't sign him to a second contract. We have to hope as Giants fans that he comes back healthy. Pandemonium, man, thank you so much, man, for the love. I really appreciate it. He says, great stream, guys, made my night. I appreciate that, man. You guys make our night. I mean, we get to come on here, we get to converse, and I don't get to watch the chat. Apparently, they were being a little rough on you guys. I respect you guys for putting up with it if they were. Yeah, I'm talking to you guys. I can't watch the chat the whole time, but I think most of it is mainly out of love. It's just Giants fans that are, upset like all of us are, and we all have different opinions, and we all.
Passionate. I'm not.
And we're all passionate, and we all think something is the main problem, and it's all a matter of opinion. And we all just want this team to get back to where we remember it, years ago. And it's tough right now. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's tough covering the team. It's tough being a fan of the team. It's tough watching the team. And listen, I have no sympathy for people who root for the Yankees. I'm a Met fan, so I got to deal with the Mets. I got to deal with the Giants. I got to deal with the Knicks. Imagine
that's a tough combination, man. I thought I had it tough with the Knicks and the Giants, but that's a tough combination right there.
Yeah. So let's see what we got here. Fabian.
Yo, look at this super chat. Wait a minute, is that it? That's not it yet. Yes, it is.
Guys, I'm just gonna let you know that this current super chat, absolute genius. Pest, why didn't we ever think of this before, bro?
Read it.
Pest, why didn't we think of this before? This is genius, bro.
Tank
for genius.
Tank for do you think that Saquon is really that great? Gucci, I don't know, but you're not going to get anything for him, so it doesn't make sense to trade him right now. You got if the plan is to trade Saquon Barkley, he's got to come back and play fully healthy 1 year. He's got to prove to the league that he could stay healthy, and he's got to have a good year. Okay, and I'm going to get to the super chat in a second. When you're making trades in any sport, it's like the stock market. You don't sell low. You right now, Saquon Barkley is as low as he could be. Why would you trade a player when he's as low as he could be? That's what bad organizations do. You sell high, whether or not you hated the Odell Beckham or not. The Giants sold as high as they thought they possibly could. That was when they felt that it was the right time to make that trade. And obviously, a lot of people still hate that trade, but it was the right time. Had you waited another year, his value might have been much lower. Right now with Saquon Barkley, his value is as low as it could possibly be. It makes no sense. It's like you bought a stock for $10 a share. Now it's worth 50 cents, and now you're going to sell it. Doesn't make sense. You don't sell it when it's worth 50 cents a share. Tank for Cooper Manning 2025. I appreciate it. He says, trade DJ Saquon for Mahomes, Hill and Kelsey and the KC offense. I'm in.
Why didn't we ever think of this before, man?
I'm in. I'm in.
How can we have not thought of this amazing trade?
Yo, I'll have what he's having.
I'm in. Yo. Let's get it done. I'm in right now. Let's get it done.
I'm down. I'm about it, yo. Let's do it. Let's do it.
And Sarko, man, thank you so much for love. I really appreciate it, man. He says, hey, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of now we got a little LT quote. Let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dog and have some fun. The mindset all football players should have, and I just don't see it. Listen, man, I get goosebumps, and I watch those, and I didn't have the privilege of getting to watch LT live until the very end of his career. But I watch highlight films all the time on him. He's ridiculous. Like, I watched that guy play. He literally looked like a shark out there, like jumping on players. Like, it looked like he was a shark trying to attack his prey. And that is one of the greatest quotes ever that I always hear when I play those LT quotes. I absolutely love LT, and I could only hope we get a player that's half as good as him that plays his position in the near future. That guy was an animal. Demon, man, thank you so much, man, for love. I really appreciate it, man. He says, forget the tank for Trevor Lawrence. In your opinions, what should we focus on for next draft? In my opinion, it should be the defense, and it should be the D and the O is just junior and need to build. D wins offense, scores, in my opinion. Listen, I completely get that mindset in terms of that you want them to spend a lot more attention to the defense in next year's draft. The New York Giants, the last 7 drafts have drafted offense. I think it's 6 of them in the first round. I could see either way, regardless of what they do in the first round, you have to go heavy defense throughout the draft. I personally would like to go defense in the first round. I could understand if you took a guy that you thought was a can't-miss prospect, because we do still definitely have needs on the offensive side of the football, like Penei Sewell. Like I said, he's supposed to be the greatest tackle ever. Like, that's what people say about this guy. The guy got Heisman votes. So I would understand it if you felt like you took a – but defense needs to be heavily focused on. We don't have playmakers on the defensive side of the football. And if they're not going to spend the first-round pick on defense, then you better spend money in free agency to bring in defensive impact players, because we need it. You need at least 2 impact players. Maybe McKinney becomes one of them, but you need at least 2 impact defensive players on this defense, and one of them is going to have to come either in the first round, or you're going to have to spend a lot of money in free agency to bring in a premier pass rusher.
Yeah, listen, I'm biased though, because I'm a defensive player, and I coach defense, so I'm always wanting to get the defense better. I always want the defense to just be monsters out there. So we need defense.
I want defense as well. In a perfect world, I want defense.
I mean, I said it earlier. Depending on where we pick, I want to go with another middle linebacker or a pass rusher.
Yeah, it's what we need. And I know Giants fans don't want to hear it because it always fails. Who the hell's our second cornerback?
Right.
Who the hell's our second cornerback? So, I mean, if we're in such a position to take a cornerback, it's definitely a possibility.
Here's the sad thing. Don't we have like very little picks in next year's draft?
I think we've only got 5.
Yeah, we don't have enough. We don't have nearly enough to fill in each.
We're going to have to make trades to try to get more. We're going to have to make trades at the deadline and try to accumulate more. David Biago, man, thank you very much. He says, Andy Reid says, throw in a Big Mac and it's a deal. I think you would need a lot more than a Big Mac to make Andy Reid happy.
Hey, Chris, I love your chat, man. I just want to say that I love your chat. This chat is so much fun. Between the trolls, right, the passionate Giants fan, and just some of the funny comments, man, I love your chat. This chat's great, man. I love it.
I always say, man, I have the best support. These guys are all members of the Giants community. The Giants people on YouTube that are supportive, of course, you're always going to get people that hate your guts. And you get that, and you get opinionated people that are never going to agree with you. But I'm proud of the Giants community as a whole on YouTube. They're incredible. They're for the most part, they're widely supportive. They're always being nice to me. They're always giving me nice comments, supporting me, telling me you're doing a great job. Great people. I'm looking forward to getting to go to games with not just you guys, but a lot of people in the chat, hopefully, once things get back to normal. It's something that I definitely want to plan. Jason Young, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Chris, at least you're not a Mets, Jets, and Knicks fan like Joe Beningo. Oh, God. Oh, bro. You guys hear Beningo on the fan?
No.
Oh, he's hysterical. He's always upset because he's a Jets and Mets fan. So
I see some of their YouTube stuff, but I'm not in the market, so I don't get that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're on YouTube. But Evan and Beningo, they're on YouTube as well. Yeah. They're both Jet fans. Simon says you still need good receivers in the league with an offensive line. I agree. We definitely need receivers as well as the offensive line. We need at least one premier wide receiver. I agree with that. We don't have that on the team right now. And we need to fix the O-line, and we need 2 playmakers on defense. You get that and a center, unless Nick Gates proves to be that guy. We could be a competitive football team. But we got a lot of holes that we have to fill, and I doubt it's going to happen in one off season. I hope it does. But we'll see, and hopefully this team gets better over the course of the season. But, guys, we're going to wrap it up. We went later than I even thought we were going to, but I did come on late, so I wanted to give you guys a little bit of extra time. Again, to the chat, I want to say thank you, guys. Go on over to Bad Dogs tomorrow. We'll be live streaming the game there. And definitely want to do a live stream with you guys for a Giants game at some point this year. Hopefully either next week or the week after. I'd like to get 4 or 5 people watching the game together. But I want to say thank you to the chat, everybody that was here. MH, Afghanistan, Zero, Sarkon, Gucci, Jason Young, Scott, MH, man. Thank you so much. Sean, man. Thank you so much, man. Fabian, Elvis. Thank you guys so much for being here, man. I really do appreciate it. Fabian, Joseph Santiago, Scott, Giant Opinion Sports. Try to shout out all you guys. G-Man, John, Max, Giants fan. Thank you guys so much. Great Wooda, man. Great Wooda is awesome. I know he was getting into it with with you there, Pest. Giant Opinion Sports, Christian Cone. Thank you, Royal Money, man. Thank you guys so much for being here. Johnny Beats, man. Thank you so much for being here, man. I do appreciate it. Free God, Scott, Jason Young. Thank you guys so much. Nona, try to shout out all you guys. But you guys were the stars of the show. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you guys for providing entertainment, providing conversation about the New York Giants. Keep doing what you do on your channels. Guys, please check them out. Looking forward to working with you guys in the future. I'll start with the Hub. I'll let him close it out, then we'll go to Pest. Hub, go ahead, my man.
Thank you for having us on. First of all, Chris, like you said at the beginning, we've been planning this for a couple of days now. We finally got the motivation to get it going, and once we got into the groove of things, it's almost like you can't stop. So thank you so much for having us on, man. Thank you for the chat to being entertaining. I mean, you guys were kind of being hard on me and my boy Pester, but for the most part, it was just entertaining. Like I was laughing. In my mind, I have to keep the professional face on for you guys. I have a great poker face in case you can't notice, but I was laughing, at people like Elvis Anthony, and there was another one. I think his name was like Mr. Afro or something. You guys were just absolutely hilarious. You made it a lot more worthwhile. I'm just going to say I will be, if the chat is interested. I'm also going to be live for the game tomorrow. Check it out.
Check them out. Check them out for sure, man. Absolutely. Pest, go ahead, my man.
I will not be live for the game tomorrow. There is zero chance that I will be on anyone's or my channel tomorrow while this game is going on. So here's the deal, y'all. Go into this game finding one player, just one player. Find one player that's playing well at his position. Don't worry about the score. Don't worry about the any turnovers or any mistakes. Just find a player that's playing great and just cheer for that player, okay? Because that's what I'm gonna do, okay? I'm going to look for a player. I'm gonna look for a player. I'm gonna be like, yo, this player's balling out, and you'll see it on my Twitter timeline. This guy's balling out, okay? I don't know who it's gonna be, but that's my goal. All right, it's not about winning the game right now, but I appreciate everybody for spending some time with us. It is always a absolute pleasure, and I'm always blessed to be on YouTube Yoda's channel. That's right. Christy Entertainer is my YouTube Yoda. That's what I call him. I'm always blessed to be able to come on his channel. I'm always blessed to kind of have grown into the position that I'm in, and I'm super thankful. And this it's because of you guys, man. It's because of you guys that we're able to do this. Whether we're doing good as a team or bad as a team, hey, we're gonna be here and we're gonna interact with y'all, and we want to have a good time. I appreciate everybody in the comment section blasting us, but hey, man, sometimes it is what it is, man. We enjoy getting blasted, and we want to hear.
I just want to say pause on that. I'm sorry.
I don't have to pause. I'm a grown man.
That's a pause for me, bro. That's a pause for me.
We enjoy y'all giving us a lot of grief or whatever, because it shows that you care. Because y'all could not be here giving us grief, and if you really didn't like us, you'd leave. Okay, so thank y'all. Make sure y'all hit the thumbs up on the way out. Make sure you check out the Hubs channel. Make sure you check out my channel. Please keep supporting Christy Entertainer, because he is fantastic. And we'll get up with you guys later. Deuces.
There you go. And I got to get one more super chat for you. And New York Flip's coming at you, my man.
Yeah, bro. He's coming
I think it's mainly out of love, but he says, "Don't quit your day job, Pest."
I mean, you know what? I won't quit my day job, okay? Because my day job is what pays the bills. Because I don't make money on YouTube. I do this for the love, sucker. So don't worry about that.
There you go. All right, guys, you guys have a great night. Thank you guys for being here. Royal Word, thank you guys for being here. You guys have a great night. Let's get a win tomorrow. And like Pest said, I guess you could look at one player. I'm looking at all of them. I want them to win this football game, but I'm going to go in realistic. And Demon Man, thank you so much, man. He says, I appreciate y'all and everything y'all do. Demon Man, thank you so much, man, for all the generosity you showed all night. I really do appreciate it. And thank you for being a great subscriber. And we appreciate you guys. I mean, like I always say, without you guys, there's no reason for me to wake up and make videos. There's no reason for me to make go on. I mean, I love to do it, but at the end of the day, if nobody's listening, what motivates you to go above and beyond and make content? So you guys are what make me and them work as hard as we do. So thank you guys for doing everything that you do. But you guys have a great night. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and let's go Giants.